Hello, everybody, and welcome to the NUEL Hearthstone Campus Clash Grand Finals. I'm James Costas. I'm joined here by Sin. How are you doing, fella?
I'm doing pretty good, thank you. Excited to get into today's games. Not quite what we were expecting in the finals, seeing University of Oxford make it all the way through, going through Nax out to make it here over the top of both the University of Birmingham teams, which did make playoffs, and Mandarin beating the team who I personally thought was the second best, Spirit Singer Brumbra in the semis to be able to make it here as well. So both of these teams have had a long journey, but this is going to be the crowning achievement if they can take it home.
Yeah, no big name players making it here. Well, when I say no big name players, we didn't get the two big name players coming here with Sir Salty and Cold Hands, but these players have shown that they can do just as well as them, if not better, as we've seen. They've made it further. So we're finally here. We're finally at the finals.
Yep.
We can see who's going to who's been the most consistent through the season. It's very hard to say who is the best after one season of play. Because it's Hearthstone, obviously you have the variance.
Yeah.
But they having the most consistency, getting all the way to the finals, and now finally winning should be interesting.
I mean, you could look at Mandarin, who have come into this. They had 12 points in the Swiss. The next highest was 9, so they've clearly been more consistent throughout the Swiss. It's if they can continue that into playoffs. And having casted them a few times now, you can see that they rarely make any mistakes. And even in situations where they start to fall behind because maybe the RNG didn't go in their favor, maybe they bought in for a 50-50 play that was their only way out and it didn't go their way. But they're generally making the highest percentage play in every single situation. And there's not a single situation I've been able to find fault in their play thus far. And I really enjoyed watching them just because they're that consistent.
Yeah, they're really enjoyable to watch. And going into this, we have the two bans. They have both had Druid ban. They were both Malagos Druids.
Yeah.
And each team is bringing another 4 decks. So this is a best of 7. So
it's the same decks as both of the last weeks of playoffs in the semis and quarters.
Yeah.
So Mandarin's still got their Death Rattle Hunter, Even Warlock, their Shadowwalk and Odd Warrior, and Oxford, who, yeah, let's look at this quickly because before the playoffs came around, they were playing Death Rattle Hunter, Token Druid, they were playing the Odd Rogue, and they had Cublock, which was a little bit odd, but still a decent deck. But then that switches to the moment playoffs come around, Quest Odd Warrior, big Spell Mage, still keep the Cublock, and then a Mind Blast Priest, which is like kind of half-baked combo, half with a Dragon Core.
That Priest deck is probably the main talking point. It's interesting to see. It's essentially a very similar package to what Deaddraw brought to the Hearthstone finals at EGX. And he did very well with it. He got a lot further than anyone expected. He ended up coming 3rd, 4th, I believe. And yeah, just it can do very well, especially in the right hands.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how some of these decks play out because obviously a lot of new decks, because I haven't got to cast a big Spell Mage or a Quest Odd Warrior so far. There's been some combo priests of different variations that I haven't been able to see, but getting into game now, we can see that it's going to be the Quest Odd Warrior in the very first game going up against the Death Rattle Hunter. This is probably an expected matchup. You'd like to open with a Death Rattle Hunter, probably the best early game deck of the decks they brought, unless you get like an really early turn 4 Mountain Giant from the Even Warlock. So it's set up to be the counter matchup, so to speak, the best counter they've got to the Death Rattle Hunter to be able to shut it down with all these taunts.
Yeah, so Hunter typically is quite a good matchup into the Warrior. It's a deck that can be aggressive enough, get big enough minions on board to just be able to beat them out in the mid-range game and just win. So with the package that has specifically been brought by Oxford, it has a few more early game defensive cards, having that the Stone Hill, which is obviously different than the others, but having just more taunts just makes it that little bit better early on. But I don't think that's going to make much of a difference with the start that we see here. We see the Devil's Store Egg, then turn 2 we can see either the Defender of Argus into the turn 4, the turn after. into Terrascale Stalker or one or the other. We'll see the exact line of play depending on how they go about it from Oxford's side.
I can imagine the very simple way to play it is just go with Terrascale and then you can Defender of Argus afterwards and perhaps get the 6/6 with Taunt as well. So I think that's a decent start to get the Gluttonous out, get a 3/3 on the board to be able to kill the egg instantly when it's played. If it is played on
against the boards. Yeah. So if for whatever reason, let's say they didn't have the Devil's Egg, they might play a Terra Stalker on curve because you need to at least get stuff out. But they do have the egg. I can see merit here in just trading the Gluttonous into the egg to stop
Hero
that
Power
activator.
You could even just Hero Power Shield Slam the 5/5 down as well.
Yeah.
So you can just clear the board completely this turn and still have your 3/3 left.
Which is probably the play that they are going to go for, but of course, are saying probably the play might not well be the play. But I have faith in Mandarin seeing being able to come back from that if Oxford do that, but we'll see how Oxford go. Maybe they'll just tuck down the Stonehill to get a value, but the value, yeah, it is, and they are going to at least trade. Yeah, so they did everything. Gets rid of the 5/5, means that they can't create another 5/5. But it doesn't generate anything onto the board. So flanking strike here, easy play, just yeah.
Yeah, and now we see they draw the other egg instantly as well. Big yikes, but I mean, getting your silence in response doesn't sound like a bad play. So you can just silence that 0/3 egg, then the only way to really do anything about it is to you could then either flanking strike your own egg just to get it off the board. You could cube your own egg to get 2 eggs back on afterwards. Sets up nice for like a mossy horror later on.
Obviously, we have caster vision. So what might be the case, the better play is to just play Defender of Argus next turn.
Yeah.
Get that trade into the Stonehill and then play it. But they're just going to go for the Devil's Throat Egg because they don't know that silence. And the chance of having this early on with them only running Iron Beak at Owl, which is obviously the only silence they can play, they're playing just to get that out. But it could mean that they don't have any eggs.
What was the new silence, the new expansion? I think it's a 2-mana 2/1 silence a taunt minion.
Yeah, the silence a taunt minion.
Yeah.
But that probably won't see too much play unless taunts become stupidly popular, but I very much doubt it.
I'm just thinking generally a lot of what you want to silence anyway has taunt and death rattle. So, but
well, a lot of them just have death rattle opposed to taunt.
Yeah, I'm thinking of things like the obsidian statue and things
obsidian
like that.
Statue, Diehorn Hatchling.
Yeah. Just big things you want to silence there, but the only real one you've got for odds still is just this Iron Beak Owl, so they need to stick with this. It's, I think they run 2 of them.
Yeah, they are running 2.
Yeah, it's a much more early defensive set than you would see in many other places.
Yeah, so they're very much debating what to play here, because whilst that Iron Beak is nice, it's not necessarily doing them any favors on board because they want to stop a board being generated. But trading into the egg?
There's no real need to, yeah.
No. You basically never trade into it unless you're going to kill it.
Yeah, I think there's a nice Super Collider potentially next turn.
There is. Which is why I'd like to only see the egg being activated once opposed to twice to play around that Super Collider. There's always the chance. It's going to be a 50-50. Because they attacked the fallen. Ignore me. I was going to go a weird route in my head, which was just completely wrong. So Defender of Argus going here, being played down with Hero Power would also be pretty good. Getting that 4 damage straight into Stonehill. You can activate that egg as well, but obviously you want to activate it multiple times.
I mean, you could go Argus and then activate the egg to summon the Devil Saw on the opposite side of the 1 attack taunt. That completely plays around the Super Collider effectively.
So they have cleared the board here, but they haven't got a 5/5 Devil Saw.
Yeah.
But they didn't play the play dead on it.
So this sets up for an opportunity to just silence it now.
Yeah, it does. they were playing around Brawl more than likely with that play, but it does mean that they played right into an Iron Beak. So Iron Beak can just be slammed down here. And whether it's what they choose to do, I don't know, because they Oxford throughout the weeks have made some questionable calls. They've worked out, but obviously they're playing against Mandarin, the team that we've not seen make any mistakes. They will just punish them non-safe probability rolls quite hard.
I mean, I like what Mandarin's done here, though. I like how they've set this up so they've deliberately avoided proccing the egg instantly. So you'd assume at this point they've got nothing to proc the egg in hand, and that's putting them in a dangerous situation where you don't want to play around the Terrascale Stalker and play dead in hand, and suddenly now you could get the 2 Devil Swords instantly on board.
So we've seen the Super Collider be played out. Is there any removal in the Hunter deck? Yeah, there's a singular Glutton of Seas. And they don't have it. So they will probably play the Terrascale. Play dead? Do they want to fully invest it? Because if they fully invest, actually they've ignored me again. The Devil Sword has taunt now.
Yeah, the egg,
so
the egg
the
has
Super Collider
taunt,
has
so there's
to
no
collide
Super
into
Collider,
that.
yeah. So it would proc the 5/5 instantly, so unless they can find 1 extra damage somewhere, they can't proc the egg, they can't then trade the 5/5s into each other. So it leaves them in this kind of awkward halfway situation where they don't really want to hit the egg.
Yeah, they don't want to hit it. They want the Recruit Hunter? I guess Death Rattle Recruit Hunter is building up a board, but we're already on turn 7, and they haven't dealt much damage to face. They've dealt 6 damage. They've had a relatively slow start compared to what it could have been. I've definitely seen worse draws.
I mean, the other option here is you could just silence the egg and then hit the Terrascale with a weapon just to get something off the board to stop any more summonings of the Devil Swords. I think that's the way out right now, but instead opting in for the Brawl, right? Okay. I feel like this Brawl is just a lose-lose. You could get much better brawls out of this, but
they got the best situation.
They got the high roll.
Leaving out a 3/3, because that 3/3, they need to do 4 damage every turn to just outbeat the hero power, which is possible with a 3/3 on board. They're going to do 5 damage each turn. But they're going for just the Deathstalker Rexar this turn. Potentially they could have gone for just to get that 2 damage out, rather than hero power. But just the value you can get from that hero power, it is definitely right to play the Deathstalker Rexar first to get the minion, to get that high value, because the more you do, the more chance of you getting that win condition card. And we've seen crazy games where you can just win from a crazy card that you get from Deathstalker Rexar.
The other big risk here for the side of Oxford is that this Deathstalker Rexar can give them enough value to actually beat out this warrior deck. We've alluded to it already, but the warrior deck doesn't have any cards that cost more than 5. There's no big minions in this deck. It relies entirely on that hero power later on. So if you can get a wider board before or after they've used both of those brawls, then there's nothing really the warrior can do other than just try and tank up and Reckless Flurry.
Yeah, well, a few weeks ago, when we actually last casted together, we had a Death Rattle Hunter just win against the warrior in fatigue, because they can just get their minions with lifesteal. They can have minions that shuffle stuff into their deck with the forget the name of it, the 1 mana 2/1 Death Rattle minion, the beast.
Yes.
Shuffles,
it shuffles a 4/3 raptor.
Yeah,
the something raptor.
Yeah, the small raptor boy. And they just went off of that. There are many possibilities in Hunter just outlasting here, which is actually where that quest can come into fruition. With the quest, that 8 damage a turn actually I think it might actually be more favored into this Death Rattle Hunter, and that might be why they have brought it.
That is definitely why they've brought it, but it's just the worry is that they just get outvalued either before they can proc the quest, or after they proc the quest, the board's too wide to deal with.
Yeah, they've only played 4 taunts so far, no more in hand. Not actually that many in deck. They haven't drawn the Abomination that they've got. They've not drawn the 2 Tar Creepers, and the impact of them cards, even if they do play it, is low because they're 3 or 5 mana cards. You want to play 10 mana.
That's quite funny, actually, seeing the Zombeast of the worm, the Dragon Scale worm, just have charge anyway already on it.
Why do you need rush when you can just have charge?
Exactly.
Obviously, you don't get that 1 extra attack, so the value wasn't completely there. But it's still 5 damage charge.
But because you give it the 1 extra attack from combining it with the boar, it has still 5 attack anyway.
Maybe they'll get a Nightmare Amalgam from... Wait, can you get Nightmare Amalgam from Deathstalker?
Yeah,
you can, can't you? Maybe they'll get that. Then they'll get the Dragon proc anyway. But we shall see. We've got Oxford here debating what to play. Is this Zombeast with 5/8 and Wind Fury scary enough for them to hero power Reckless Flurry after getting obviously getting that 4 damage to face, or do they just smack down the Baku?
They could even just super collide a double trade to get rid of it if they wanted.
They could. But that's still 5 damage to face, and it can get quite important in this matchup, that 5 damage. Yeah. But that is what they choose to do.
With the hero power being like double effective, I think it's definitely still valuable.
Yeah, and they get a 7/8 on board. That 7/8 can contest with so many different things from that hunter.
It's the only thing that can, though. That's what we've been alluding to. It's the only thing other than the RNG hoping the 8 damage hits the big minion that you have to deal with the big minions.
So looking at the options here, Life Drinker probably seems like the best one because it's at least damage. Like Life Drinker Snow Flipper Penguin here is actually genuinely, like the value of Snow Flipper Penguin is like quite underestimated, but that one extra stats. So they went for Scavenging Hyena and Snow Flipper Penguin. Not a massive fan of that pick, but it wasn't the strongest Zombeast we've ever seen.
Yeah, if they can get enough beasts to go with it, they can actually get something going. But right now, they're considering if they want to just bomb and play dead on the bomb to be able to just get clear off the 7/8. I think that is the play here.
Spider Bomb play dead in here. Yeah, it's the only big threat that they really have. They're choosing to just go to the Zodiacs, Spider Bomb. So
they have the ability to contest with it for now.
Yeah, it stops the 7 damage onto face.
Yeah.
But it doesn't deal with it right away. But it creates a bigger minion on board. So it's not reducing their boards, but increasing yours. So they're hoping... but they've seen weak plays every turn. Well, not every turn, but most turns from Oxford. So they know they haven't had their early game minions. They haven't had their board presence minions. But as we can see, they have drawn the Diehorn Hatchling and they have drawn a Tar Creeper. We forgot about the owl. Well,
it's a crippling owl. It's a crippling owl.
Yeah, the owl being played. That stops all the all the board pressure that Mandarin had. But would the Iron Beak Owl have been played earlier if they had it in hand? We saw a couple of situations where they could have used it on the egg.
Yeah, so maybe the thought was that they would have already played it on the egg. They wouldn't let that slip through. It did seem like a mistake not to use it on the egg at the time. It did lead to quite a wide board, but the board's been dealt with. They trusted that they could have the ability to deal with it regardless, and now it pays off being able to get rid of not only Ziliax's lifesteal, but also get rid of the fact that, get rid of the Spider Bomb Death Rattle as well to keep the Baku on board, keep that 7 damage, and now Warrior looks in prime control of the game. There seems to be very little way back, and right now I think you just have to go King Crush.
Yeah. King Crush there, but it's the highest value card. It deals with the board, keeps 8-5 on your side. They're gonna have to deal with that. That's a lot of pressure.
It was too late for Keleseth at this point, so you just had to go for the King Crush to try and contest the board at all.
Do we just see another hero power shield slam, or do they hold on? Do you reckon they'll hold on to the shield slam just to keep a big way to remove a minion on the board?
I think
in your hand, sorry.
I think you want to hold on to the shield slam. You know you've got the. You know you're like how far are they on the quest right now? They're already 5 out of 7. They only need one more taunt beyond this Tar Creeper, and they've got that Sulfurous ready.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like you just clear off this minion anyway. You trust that you've got the damage coming up, and that the hunter's really running out of resources. It's relying purely on the zombies, and you can only get 1 per turn. So if you're able to remove that with the hero power, you can start to be in control. But I feel like using the shield slam here leaves them in a situation where the zombies every time can actually cause issues. You know, you can get things like a rush with poisonous plus the deal 2 damage to all enemy minions.
Yeah, they're exploding
clear
back,
off the board. Yeah, and you can get those sort of shenanigans where your board will just be completely clear that you want to be able to deal with as soon as possible. In this situation, you're removing your ability to contest those bigger minions.
But the chances of getting that zombies are quite low. Having the Tar Creeper as a body will stop charge minions. So like they have a lot of more pressure on board in the lineup here that they went. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I don't think it was necessary for them to play around the Rexar hero power, purely because you can't really play around it. The amount of options that you get from it, you've just got to kind of hope that they don't have that.
At this point, you can look at I'm just looking at the cards left in the deck. There's 9 to 17, and I don't see there's any reason to try and play fast and loose here. I think you can afford to play this one slowly. You don't need the widest board. You can just afford to, go for the trades and rely on the hero power to do the damage later on, which is why I was suggesting more that you hold on to the shield slam. You just play it out slowly. And I feel like it is a little bit more greedy for what they've done, but they're not going to be punished for it by the looks of it. They're just
we'll see if it ends up actually coming to fruition. This is quite an easy trade here in reality. Trading Vacuum into the Scavenging Hyena zombies, and then trading the Iron Beak Owl into the Scout Worm, and then potentially just hero powering. The cards in hand aren't super useful. Mind Control Tech can get some value later on, but I can see that being played, but I don't think that they need to get that 3/3 body on board. It's not a necessity.
Yeah, I don't think the Mind Control Tech is particularly worthwhile at this point. You've not seen both of the flanking strikes. That would be the main card that could come out to heal the Baku and get some more presence now that would go against them.
Yeah, but as we saw with the tracking that was done earlier, the second flanking strike is not in the deck. But they don't. Obviously, Oxford don't know that. They don't know to play around that.
So finally, that Gluttonous Ooze turns up a little bit too late.
Well, it's always in hand now for the second Super Collider. But that first one was just so devastating in the end. It's one of them cards that you don't appreciate until it happens. Like it happened when the card was announced. You just didn't appreciate how good it could be, and then you just see what it does to a board, and you're like, oh damn, it can actually just wreck you.
Yeah, I was kind of I had high hopes for it, but after seeing what everybody else said, I was like, oh, I guess it's not that good, and I kind of lost all faith in it until I saw it show up again. So
it's one of my favorite
cards. Yeah, really nice zombies, getting the premium stats, and there's no board to be punished for it. Even if there was, you get lifesteal and each individual damage it would do to the minions on the board.
So Fiery War Axe here can deal with it. Obviously that's 7 damage to face, but honestly, I think you don't really want to use Reckless Fury at this point.
Yeah.
Not a wide board.
You're not worried about.
They have to deal with it.
You're not worried about taking damage every turn, so you can afford to just tank up, and that's just 2 turns of tank ups to be back at fully back where you were in terms of armor.
We are still waiting for the warrior quest to be completed.
Yeah.
But you don't need to get it completed early. It's there for the late game. It's there to be that extra threat of dealing the 8 damage. Of course, you lose your armor, which is arguably not a great thing. That 4 armor return is pivotal in a lot of matchups, which is why it normally isn't included. But obviously, as we discussed earlier, it's just good to have that 8 damage late game, just to tip you over the edge of those decks that can beat you in fatigue, which Hunter can purely from the value it gets from Rexxar.
Yeah. I think I like what they're trying to do here in terms of they're trying to hold on to their zombies right now. They don't want to just play everything because they acknowledge that quest is one from completion. You don't want to just play 1 minion per turn and be in that situation.
So something we didn't consider is the Discover effects. You can get stuff from the new expansion from Discover effects.
Ah, yes. This is indeed a thing.
So this is a small minion. What is it? 2 mana, 2/2. Death Rattle.
Reduce the cost of a beast in your hand by 1.
Which, reducing a beast by 1 with the beast that you generate from Build a Beast is great.
Yeah.
And it was small enough to play this turn in terms of mana. So they can deal with whatever is played on this turn because they have a beast with Divine Shield poison. They can deal with 2 minions if they need to.
Yeah.
And what are Ops going to do to actually handle this? This is actually a massive threat. I can see them playing in the Tar Creeper and going for the 33%. But in fact, it's more 66% because they don't care if the Gluttonous Ooze survives.
Yeah.
Mandarin, that last turn, also recognizing that they can just chuck that Gluttonous Ooze on board. Because are they really scared of that Super Collider when they're playing 1 minion a turn? Not really. So they play 2 minions. But they don't need to play around the Super Collider anymore. And did they just hero power? They just hero power that turn. That threat that we were talking about is only a threat if they play something.
Yeah, so I feel like they're just holding off right now and maybe trying to get an overcommitment into a brawl. Or even an MC tech, and then it's just a much easier place to start your quest out. And as I said, the situation that Hunter desperately wants to avoid is where he runs out of resources and is literally using 1 of the zombies every turn just to try and have something for Zolguris to hit that's not face.
The problem with how they play today, there is still a Divine Shield on that minion.
Yeah.
So there will, I can see Reckless Flurry being played this turn. Get rid of that 7/4. That 7/4 is going to be not great for them.
Like Ziliax into Reckless Flurry, probably.
Yeah.
And that also procs the quest because it's a taunt.
Oh yeah, Ziliax is a taunt. Ziliax are everything. So that completes their. But do they want to complete it right now? I think they're pretty happy to just keep that 4 armor a turn. So they're probably going to play it the other way around. Because Ziliax won't die because of the Divine Shield.
Yeah. It's just like, you can get Ziliax, you can get the quest, but you don't have to play the weapon yet. So you can just afford to keep up with that armor every turn, bait out more resources, and then, like you said, what the exact situation we're saying Warrior wants to, the Hunter wants to avoid is the exact situation that Oxford has been playing towards the entire game.
Yeah.
I feel like Arthas isn't too bad here.
Bitstone Hydra is not a bad choice either. Get that big minion out. Yeah, it's either Arthas or Bitstone. They're definitely debating
this deck does have 2 Dynamatics, I believe.
It does, yes.
So this could be a heavy misplay if they end up playing that directly into a Dynamatic.
It's what, 7 or 5 shots from the Dynamatic?
5 shots, yeah. So that would be 15 damage to face just from that.
But they did get the boar with it, so that's a 9/9 with charge. I can just see them holding on to that to do lethal damage, kind of like a Leroy Jenkins. You only use it when you need to do lethal, purely because of the Dynamatics. So here. Tar Creeper could be played just to put a body in front of that charged Devil Saw, but what does that really achieve? It saves you 7 damage to face. Yes, that's great. but it doesn't deal with it because they can then.
Yeah.
It's a very awkward turn.
Unfortunately, yeah, you just have to burn the Reckless Flurry and then just keep armoring up.
But they have another, they have a Brawn in hand. They have a way to deal with the big board. It's just they had to. Drawing the Katharina here to get the Witchwood Grizzlies, is that's what left? Did they even run Witchwood Grizzly?
Let me check.
They do.
They do.
Yeah. Just making sure.
It would be weird to see one that didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's either the Charged Devil Saws or the Scavenging Hyenas, typically. Yeah. I have seen ones that don't run Witchwood Grizzlies, but just run both Scavenger Hyena and Charged Devil Saw. But it's just too greedy.
On ladder, I run the Savannah Highmane and Devil Saw, just one of each.
Yeah.
So you've got the ability to play more control. You've got the ability to get the extra damage out if you need.
But ladder's a whole different board game.
Ladder's a whole different place, yeah. But this game faces the place.
Face? It's not like traditional Old Hunter going into face, but
yeah, I like that the design space has been moving away from Hunter just being this face class. Like they just keep on trying to. Well, the fact that Deathstalker Rexar's hero power is just a completely non-aggressive one. It's the most tempo-based hero power of all of them.
I do like though how they've been trying to push Control Hunter, and what's come to fruition is actually more of a secret mid-range hunter.
Yeah.
Like but either one of them. But that could mean one day that Control Hunter is just incredible because they keep trying to push it seems. Especially with these late game cards they've introduced like Zul'jin. Daihorn being played here. Just to go away from our tangent quickly.
Yeah.
Nice big minion. It handles but it does mean that there's something for Katharina to trade into. But if
it will get them closer to fatigue is the only issue right now. There are only two cards left in the deck, so
yeah, getting towards fatigue. But I think they haven't played for fatigue. They played their tracking. They played their.
I like it.
Oh, that is nice.
Yeah, I like it.
Handles the board, gets 6 damage to face, stops them from retreating one right now. But should they be planning into that? If they're planning into fatigue now, they've started too late.
Yeah.
When you see a hunter matchup into the warrior, you quite typically just don't play your trackings and stuff. But that's not how they played. So they now chose to not play the play dead onto the Katharina because they're. What are the bottom two cards? It's one of the Witchwood Grizzlies out of the two.
Yeah.
And what else is left? Is it a? Let me have a look. Have we had a second Spider Bomb, or was that?
I don't think we've had a second Spider.
So
no, the first one was silent. The first one was silenced and killed.
Oh yes. So we've had both of them now.
So that's both of the Spider Bombs gone.
Kalasef was burnt for tracking.
Kalasef was burnt.
Second candle shot.
I think it might be a second candle shot. That's unfortunate.
I don't like Iron Beak this turn from Oxford. I like being able to kill the Katharina. So
here we go.
Sulphur's hero power.
It's time for
Hope to hit the Katharina. Which they do, which is perfectly right. Like great for them. 312, 3 damage a turn, whatever. Like at this point in the game, they're in fatigue. Oh, it's the second play deck. So what happened to the second candle shot?
Maybe that was one of the ones that was killed by a tracking. But now this is the situation where they just go, okay, face is most definitely the place. Try and burn him down.
Did they?
Because he can't armor up anymore, playing this 9 charge.
While that's great, I don't like that mind control tech. We haven't. Oh wait, no, I do because they played the other brawl. Ignore me.
Yeah.
Again.
Both brawls are gone. Both Reckless Flurries are gone. There's no way to clear the board here. It's all about. It's all about just throwing up taunts to try and defend and having the Ragnaros purge the insects.
So yeah, as long as they don't play another minion next turn, or because the chance of them clearing something is a. I guess you can clear both the Witchwood Grizzly and the or MC Tech if you trade into the Witchwood Grizzly. So they might just hero power here and see what happens. Hits the worst one. Well, the worst one would have been face. This is just not good for Oxford. What do they play here? Just shut down the Diehorn Matriarch, but that gets traded in by the zombies.
So they've actually got 17 damage set up if nothing happens here. So they need to get rid of this. They really need to get rid of this 9-9.
So that's how they've got rid of it, but that's 9 damage to face.
Yeah.
But it does mean that from what we see, they cannot deal with the Diehorn. So how are they going to deal with this Diehorn? They have the Hunter's Mark.
They have the Zombies with Poisonous and Rush.
And they have that. So what I think they should do is Hunter's Mark and just trade into it and get that Poisonous Rush out.
Yeah. I think another thing that they could look to do, which would be really awkward for the Warrior, probably not this turn, more looking towards next turn, is you could just go for Carnivorous Cube the Grizzly and play dead. 2 Grizzlies out on board. You can't deal with those with the Ragnaros hero power. So
that's true. Yeah, that might be a very good line of play. Getting
I think that just wins
them
the game.
extra taunts out.
I think it just wins the game if they do that.
Depending, but that does play into mind control tech. Yeah. So choosing to go for a mixture of that.
Are you going for it? Is the play? Oh wow, it's an even wider board. So even if you get the
well, it's 12 health to get through. It's
even if you get the MC tech on one of these 12,
but they can double MC.
They have the Echo Rush. Like they have the Echo. They have the Poisonous Rush in hand, so they have the ability to at least clear off one of them very easily.
I think they mind control attack twice.
Yeah, they should do. Almost certainly. If they don't take 2 taunts, though, this is likely to go horrible.
Well, it's likely to be game.
Yeah.
Because how much damage is that? If
engaging TC-130,
they got the double taunt, they clear one of them. Yeah, they'll be fine. They would have been fine anyway. I think there would have been 1 damage off, as long as the hero power hit the MC deck.
Yeah. So I think it's this turn starts with fishing for a zombie, almost certainly.
Fish for the zombies. The current zombies also gives 1 damage to the minions next to it, so that's 8. So they can kill one of the Witcher Grizzlies.
Yeah.
By just trading 2 Witcher Grizzlies and a kind of a Scroob into it, which is why Oxford opted to trade into it, because they could have cleared one of the Witcher Grizzlies with that, cleared another one with some form of poison. Scavenger and Hyena here, probably the easiest choice, unless they want to go Vicious Fledgling. The Boar.
I say just go for the lowest cost one that isn't awful.
Yeah. Scavenger Hyena, lifesteal, not ideal. They won't play that this turn. So they're probably just,
Yeah, Poisonous
Zombies
Rush.
up.
So the Zombies doesn't die as well, so they get to keep this extra damage.
Yeah.
To more easily trade off, and now they're set up on the board. Nice time for a Dynamatic, but the Dynamatic could just summon 2 more Witchwood Grizzlies.
Well, what they will do before that is probably it doesn't look great. What is there that they can do? They can hero power, see what happens, then trade into stuff. They can trade into stuff, then Dynamatic, then hero power. Obviously, like, order really matters here, but I don't see any order that they play it in save them. Unless they're getting... No, not even that. Trade Iron Beacon into that.
Yeah, trade the MC Tech into the 4/3, Super Collider, and then pray it hits the Poisonous so that you get rid of the taunt, and then that...
Yeah, well, you get rid of one of the taunts.
Yeah, then that would leave just a 3/12 on board. Yeah,
but because of the Super Collider, they'd be on 3 damage. So yeah,
yes, that would put the lethal on board. Yeah. So,
I think Mandarin have this here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have this.
This is it. This is the game. They're only on 1. They lose everything, and even though they got in full control, it's going for the Sulfurous either too late or too early. It just seems to be off tempo and it ends up massive resources in the opposing hand, or the zombies managed to do the work. The Carnivorous Cube plus the Witchwood Grizzly was the big tempo play that decided it in the end. But
they played all their removal early. They
really decided it, yeah.
So Mandarin here, 1-0 up in the finals. They've got that start that we in an unfavorable and in a favored matchup.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what will happen when they get into an unfavored matchup, but this is the result we expect. We expect Mandarin to be winning here. I'd probably say about a 4-2.
Yeah.
It's quite hard to tell because we've never really seen best of 7 in Hearthstone.
I mean, Mandarin here, though, like, we said that they were a consistent team coming in, and you could look at that game and I could barely fault any of their plays. It seemed like almost every play we were suggesting was the optimal one. They went for it, or they found a play that was better than what we were talking about. So the way they played to bait out as if they didn't have any egg activators, for example.
I still feel like it was a lot closer than it should have been.
It was, but
a lot of that was down to their draw, but there were a couple of questionable plays. I don't think that was Mandarin playing perfectly, but they still played better.
Yeah, I don't think it's perfectly, but it's not suboptimal for the most part. It's finding the plays that they needed to make to be able to win the game, and they closed it out.
So we're going into game number 2. Let's clear our minds of the last game and just look into this one. So we have the Shaman deck, which is Shadowwalk Shaman, up against Big Spell Mage.
Yeah,
I think Shadowwalk wins there.
I agree with you. I think that Shadowwalk with an uncontested board, as is unlikely to be contested against Big Spell Mage, just gives them the freedom to throw down all of the Serenite Chain Gangs and happily hit face with them, not worry about any activators or having to use cards at the wrong time. The Healing Rain's still available as well if you do start to see those big spells go to the face. So it's all about a mid-game swing here for the Mage, and if they can get off a big swing with one of the summons from the big spells, or a nice Flame Strike to be able to clear the board into some tempo plays. But for the early game, falling away from them, it just gives too much favor to the Shadowwalk for me to think they're going to come back.
So the way I think you should play Mage into this is more aggressive than usual. You can just chuck out your minions when you need to. Build more of a board, then play more board than control board.
Oh, wow. Top deck Keleseth on turn 2.
That's a what is it? They mulliganed they kept the Grumble, so it's 33% if you mulligan every. Oh, so they
mulligan
percentage
one
would
card.
have been 20% chance of getting Keleseth there, I believe. I'm sure someone in Twitch chat will correct me. But it was quite lucky. Mandarin definitely getting that start they need. A much better start than last time. They have.
You know, I'm really looking forward tonight to the Frozen Throne rotating out. Get rid of Keleseth. We can actually have 2 drops in the game.
Yeah,
it's going to be amazing.
But then we'll have more non-1-star cards. Do we really want that?
We need more odd decks.
So, we'll lose the meme. The meme of, oh no, it's 1-star, because why play that when you can play Keleseth? So, Keleseth being played here. We see the Glass and Shoes just being played for tempo. Coined out to contest the board. Not sure if I agree with that. It's quite aggressive. That coin can be used for lots of other cards.
Speak to me.
But it does mean...
You already see in hand, though, everything the Shadowwalk needs.
Yeah.
You got Serenite, you got Grumble, you got Life Trigger. That's all you need. That's the game. Like, if they could get all of these out and draw the Shadowwalk in an appropriate amount of time, they just win the game.
This is a... Oh, my voice cracked there. Did you enjoy that? No.
Yeah.
So this Stonehill Defender, not a great one. They didn't get many good choices. Yeah, Joe Corsair, even though it's not super mana efficient, it's something they can play next turn. I didn't agree with that Acolyte of Pain there. They clearly had something on board that could just restrict it to 1 draw. But I guess with the amount that they have in their hand of their combo, they're pretty happy just getting 1 draw off of it. All they need now, really, is that Shadowwalk, because they have the Life Drinker for the damage, they've had the Samurai Chain Gang, and they've had the Grumble. It's not everything. You also have the Zola, you have a lot of other stuff. But was it worth one draw? What else could they have played is the other argument, because they would have only totemed.
Like, if they are forced to Shadowwalk, having played 2 Sarah Knights and a Grumble, I think they're satisfied.
Yeah, they'll be fine. But do they want to play it without getting it confirmed? It is Big Mage is a slow deck. You'll probably want to play as much as possible before you play the Shadowwalk.
Oh yeah, they don't want to rush it, but it's in a situation where they're forced to. They've already got all the resources they need, so that's definitely the
great.
upside.
I hate to go back to a point that we have already almost passed. With that Acolyte, it was still a body to have to trade. It's still 3 damage. That's not going into your face, which in this matchup is the only way that Oxford are going to win, is by getting that early damage, getting a board. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Dragoncaller Alana played early after only 3 spells or something.
Yeah.
Which is why I think they kept it. They kept it in their hands. Life Drinker here, easy choice. Part of the combo, gets a 4/4 on board because unfortunately the Sarah Knight wasn't buffed by Keleseth. So it's something that can trade into the Dread Circles there.
Yeah, neither Sarah Knight was buffed by Keleseth. That's one of the biggest Keleseth buffs in the deck.
That's one of the bad things that's actually happened for Mandarin. Everything else has almost been perfect.
I am enjoying it. It just seems to be going perfectly for them after the last game. Went a bit sketchy back and forth this game. Feeling much better.
Feeling much better, but they ended up winning anyway, so probably the mentality probably isn't any different. I don't want 4-0. So
yeah, you changed it.
I want the better team to win.
Yeah.
I still want more games, and a 4-0, no one wants to see it unless you're working in production. The spoiler here is someone that works in production. You always root for the team that is winning. Meteor here, that's a Meteor. That's a spell going out. There's not many big threats from a Shadowwalk Shaman other than that Grumble. And Shadowwalk, but as soon as they play Shadowwalk, they've probably already lost. So we'll see what happens.
So I was just reminded by the comment about production that I think it was actually on the Tyler 1 stream in the championship series. It's like, so which team do you want to win? I'm just rooting for whoever makes it the shortest series. Wait, I can't say that.
We had our producer that's producing this just say, as long as we don't get a warrior mirror, he's happy. Which I mean, I have to agree with. A warrior mirror, whilst there are lots of intricacies of how to win that matchup, it does go on forever.
I did end up last time just flaming Ninja for 5 minutes straight. When there was a warrior mirror. Ninja as in Fortnite.
Fortnite, yeah.
Yeah.
Not Ninja from a competitor to this game.
Yes.
So
or Ninja as in the guy who got banned from League of Legends for tampering and poaching somebody.
Yeah,
that ninja. Yeah.
So we'll see Hagatha potentially be correct. I like the Hagatha.
Yeah.
But I guess you don't want to add. They're not threatened by the board. They don't need to use it because Hagatha can be a card that ruins your combo in certain situations. So I guess they didn't want to play that. I can see why they didn't want to play it, but I could also see why they'd want to play it. That's a get rid of their boards, get 5 armor.
We're seeing one of the unique parts of this deck, though, the Abomination. They're actually running double Abomination in this deck. The Mage, they ran Abomination in the Warrior deck as well. So that's something I've not really seen from many people.
Yeah, there is a very specific reason, and I was saying we were talking about this before we went live. I don't remember the specific reason. Hello, Leroy did tell me there is a massive reason, and it works in certain matchups. Fortunately, for the life of me, I can't remember what that is. But it could well be to play up against. Well, they knew the deck before they. It might have been. Well,
they only knew the deck list 2 weeks ago.
So I guess it was in case like even Paladin or Odd Paladin were brought because it's good against them decks. Hopefully someone knows why it's good. I mean, it's just a good card in general. Anyway, but there is a specific reason why you run it. So we're looking at Mandawin's hand here. Far-sighting to just draw that card. I can just see a tempo grumble being played here. But they're looking to go for the glacial cards, which was another piece of the combo we didn't really talk about. But I don't think it's as pivotal as it is in other games. So what are we looking at here from Oxford? They could play a Skulk and Geist for a 4/6 on boards. They could play that Abomination to try and deal with the current board again. Do they want to just Dragon's Fury? That's just because at the moment, correct me if I'm wrong, but they've only played 2 spells, the Blizzard and the Meteor Strike. I don't think, or
didn't they have a Flame Strike in the starting hand?
Oh, and the Flame Strike. So they played 3. Yeah. So as I did allude to earlier, potentially just playing the Dragon Caller here. That's 3 5/5s that might not be able to be dealt with.
Yeah, unfortunately, with our amazing caster vision, we can see Double Lightning Storm would likely clear that.
Zilliax is pretty good here.
Yeah.
I can't remember how much mana they were on, but I think they can play it this turn. Yeah,
I think it's 6.
That's fine. So playing that, getting something on board that actually deals well the minions board, that's like the perfect outcome for them. Plus 3 health. That 3 health can be a lot. I don't think it's going to play too much into this because obviously Shadow Walk is a combo deck. I don't understand the Hagatha here when they didn't play it earlier. Other than the fact that obviously it gets more value with the 3 damage. But if you weren't going to play Hagatha, why, like, now you've just done it again. Did they? I don't think they should have been threatened by that board. It was certainly a good outcome for them getting that Zilliax, but it wasn't threatening.
I think playing the Hagatha earlier increases the pace of the game, but by playing it a couple of times later, it's slowing it down. It's making sure the board's clear. They have to start from scratch again, and slowing the game down as much as possible is what the Shadowhawk wants. Because I mean, they're still waiting to draw it. They've still got the Grumble to play. They still need to find the Zola.
Yeah, this is true. Like, what happens if Shadowhawk's the last card?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree with you. You've changed my mind. I was sitting there on a table, play Hagatha 2 turns ago, changed my mind, and you potentially have. Grumble here for tempo next turn. Dragon Caller could be played again. Could just play the Abomination. Could just play
6 mana 7/7 premium stats. Pogsham. So that's a legacy one actually. Everybody says Poggers now.
Is it? Yeah. What? I hate it. I'm not one with the times. I don't go for them youthful sayings.
Alright, there is everything now ready for the Shadowhawk. That's absolutely everything prepared.
Yeah, I can see Glacial Shard, Glacial Shard, Grumble, Glacial Shard this turn, or Glacial Shards, Zola, Grumble.
I would probably go for Grumble Zola on the Grumble for now, because you don't want to play the Shard when he's just going to be killed off by an Abomination, even just the AoE of the Abomination killing him off. So I feel like that would be a little bit suboptimal going for that for now.
Yeah, but they don't care about it being alive as long if it's frozen.
Yeah.
So I can see them playing the Shard here, freeze that minion, and then just choose to not kill it until it becomes a threat. But they do go for the Grumble first. Earthshock, really good card to get here. Just play it straight onto that Abomination. It becomes just a 4/4, which, well, 4/3 with the 1 damage, which just isn't threatening, and they just choose to leave it.
Yeah, I would have just Zola'd so you can get even more consistency.
Yeah. Polymorph can just be played here, trade into it.
I suppose the downside if you actually do double Grumble though is you're just more likely to get too many Shadowhawks in your hand, and it's just gonna
is there such a thing as?
But the thing is, if you're in a situation where you've only got 1 Shadowhawk on board at the end of your turn and you've got 9 in hand, then it's just been wasted.
Another key thing here to think about actually is because of the hero power of Bewitch, playing more minions gets you more spells in your hand, which means you're less able to play Shadow Walk. You're more likely to burn it. You're more likely to not get it back into your hand once you play it. So maybe they just wanted to play that Grumble to get out one spell, and they were lucky it was a spell that they could just play that turn. They've got plenty of spells in hand that they can just play to keep them in the game, but also don't affect them too much. It just keeps them in the game longer.
Yeah.
And they dropped the Shadow Walk.
They really want to bait out a board clear here so they can go for the Alana, but it doesn't matter, as you say, because the Shadow Walk has been picked up. And don't go straight for it. Whoa. Okay, this is risky, but they've got the Zola for 0 mana in hand, so...
Yes. It's not as risky as it first because of the Zola. Yeah, they've got the combo off here. Yeah. They're fine. They've won the game at this point. Unless it gets stupidly unlucky.
Yeah, that's it.
Could even Healing Rain here. He'll up that Shadow Walk on board. Health up. Little man's grapple went off again. I forgot about that. Don't forget. But yeah, they go for the Healing Rain in the end anyway, because of the 3 damage done by Hagatha's Battle Cry. How are they going to deal with this? I mean, they can Dragon's Fury, but there's still 2 Shadow Walks in hand, and...
Yeah, this is pretty rough. You can Dragon Call or Alana and just try and fill the board with things that can try and contest Shadow Walks individually, but going for the double Arcane Anomaly into Dragon's Fury will net them at least 10 armor for now.
Shadow Walk doesn't care about 10 armor, though. Ooh. So they got the 6 damage. It was a singular polymorph that could have ruined that. So they got the roll, but like as I said,
Yeah, it was already.
They just didn't care. So that's a win for the Shadow Walk round into a mage. Favorite match to expected 2-0 to Mandarin. Definitely. Well, they're on the road to win.
Yeah, so that's the Death Rattle Hunter they've won with, the Shadow Walk they've won with. They now have Odd Warrior and even Warlock. So I'm sorry, my man Mark. We might see the Warrior Mirror. It could be possible.
I don't think we'll see it right away.
I don't think we would see it right away, no. I think they go for the Even Warlock now, and then hold Odd Warrior to last.
Yeah, Even Warlock has such a favorable matchup into that Warrior.
Yeah.
That actually, I don't agree with going into the Warlock here. Because you may as well save that for when they're going to get into that Warrior. So I'd go for their own Warrior here, get that win on it, then they can just play Warlock, who is just so favored into the into all of the decks.
But also, if they go for the Odd Warrior, they have the less likelihood of going for Warrior Mirror. I'm pretty sure they don't want to play it either.
They don't want to play it in the sense of their sanity, but they will want to play into that in terms of their chances of winning. But they do go for the I was about to say Mechadraxus. I guess it is Mechadraxus. Into the Warlock.
Well, the class is just called Mechadraxus now.
Yeah.
That's there is no Warlock class anymore. That's gone. That's out the window.
Well, that sounds like something that someone that has too much say. I say that while I also have it, but
yeah,
it's like that.
King Rastakhan though. That's the new class they've introduced into the game, right?
Yeah, King Rastakhan. But I prefer King Rastakhan to Mechadraxus.
Yeah, I actually prefer Mogul the Oracle to both.
Yeah. I don't know.
There's something that's just so amusing about where he just speaks in random warbles when it says "Time for a lesson, young one." As we talked about, this is generally a favorable matchup, but this is still an Odd Warrior. But this is a different kind of Odd Warrior. It's the quest. So I still think that Warlock is favored, especially when you get Mountain Giant in your starting hand.
Yeah, it's
and
great
the coin.
getting that Mountain Giant. But if you saw in the hand, they actually kept the Skulking Geist. And they kept that Skulking Geist specifically to get rid of that Shield Slam. Because that is one of the things that can actually deal with their Mountain Giants, deal with their Hooked Reavers when they become 7/7s, and their Lich King and their Twilight Drakes. I wouldn't ever expect to see one played on Twilight Drake, but it's a great play. I think I agree with him completely. They recognized one of their lose conditions of Warrior just having them cards that can deal with their big boards. So as
like we're going to see here, it's going to be the Hero Power Shield Slam, surely.
It happening once.
Or even just Shield Block Shield Slam.
Yeah, it happening once isn't great.
Yeah.
But it won't happen again. Because I can, yeah, they're going to play Skulking Gust at some point.
Yeah, it's probably going to be on curve. They've not really got much else that they'll be looking to do around that phase.
So the choice that Oxford have here is to play the Shield Block, to then play the Shield Slam. It's essentially, or just Hero Power. It's essentially, do we play heavily into that we're going to go into fatigue, or do we just try and clear, like, use our resources just to make sure, draw, just so we get more resources? I would be more inclined to have just Hero Powered there, purely because they can Shield Block later.
Yeah.
If they needed to.
I mean, they're playing directly into the mana curve, at least with what their choice was.
Yeah.
It's like, is the option here just Shield Block again, Hero Power?
The choice here is probably just Tar Creeper Hero Power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could just cycle that extra card, make sure you've got like access to the brawls a little bit sooner, access to more of the answers a little bit sooner.
Yeah. See the Tar Creeper get put down. Hero Power. It's gonna be. This feels like it's gonna be a long game for some reason. So yeah, coin out Skulking Ghost. As I said, they know that that's going to be their way of getting rid of that other Shield Slam. It is the only card that's gotten rid of from that. Obviously, it's not as high impact as playing it into, I don't know, Taunt Druid or some other deck that relies on that one, but it hurts this warrior significantly.
Yeah, it definitely does, getting rid of the Shield Slams. Did they get rid of anything else, or was it literally just the Shield Slams? Yeah.
Yeah, it was just the Shield Slam. Imagine
it's
we had
not,
that
not
one
an
line.
Omega assembly. Go on.
Imagine we had that one line where Oxford were like, "We don't need our quest for this one. We'll just shuffle it back into our deck," and then we saw the Skulking Ghost. I would have laughed so hard at that. But unfortunately, obviously, that wasn't ever going to happen. And next turn is an awkward one from Mandarin. It's probably just going to be chucking down that getting Greymane, get that 6/5 on boards.
Yeah, just get it out of your hand. Wasn't there an example where Quest Rogue used to have some matchups where it would actually send Quest back in the early phases?
This was the original Quest Rogue.
Yeah, there was some matchups where I think you sent the Quest back.
No, I don't think it was Quest Rogue. I think it was Quest War that you would do it if you were going into Pirate Warrior.
Right.
Because Pirate Warrior, you just need to get taunts out to win.
Yeah.
So that quest was just a waste. You may as well play it later if you draw it. That's the only time I remember a quest ever being shuffled in, because Quest Rogue their minions are quite weak without the quest.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't ever shuffle that one in, because it's, the value of it just boosts your current cards.
I may be misremembering entirely, but I think it was also a Pirate Warrior thing at the time where it was just, we don't want to attempt to play against the Pirate Warrior and then just not be able to use our bounce effects because we have to hold the board.
I don't think it was the case, because there wasn't stuff like Wax Elementals and stuff at that point. I might be wrong, you might be correct, but I don't remember that.
Yeah, there wasn't Wax Elementals then, 100%. So yeah, that was. I think that at the time that was send back your quest because you need the 1-drops to contest their 1-drops.
Maybe. Let's go back on the game quickly.
Yeah.
I can see Reckless Flurry being played here. Purely this board they have no way of dealing with.
Yeah.
Like they could play Dynamatic. The chances of them getting the Twilight Crest is high, which
I think it's straight away.
And they didn't get another one. It was unlikely for them to kill. So at least they dealt with one of the threats. It also means that this Dread Infernal is a lot worse because it kills the Skulking Geist. I can see Skulking Geist being traded, playing the Dread Infernal, but they're just going to go for a Shroom Brew to heal it. I would have liked that Dread Inferno to be played. I understand you lose 4 damage on board, but you get out that big 6/6 minion. It means that probably it's because we didn't see a single target removal last turn, or like any form of making them play their threats, like playing their removal because they're playing threats. And it also is just better for Blood Reaver, but they don't have Blood Reaver, so that might be why they chose to not play the Drone Inferno. Infernal, sorry, I keep calling it Inferno. It's always been something.
You're just thinking about Jiraxis yelling Inferno as he summons
Inferno. I don't know why I even attempted that. I'm not someone that can do impersonations. So just choosing to hero power here. With the Reckless Flurry, they know that anything can be played and they can just deal with it. Because what can it do? 10 damage here. If they hero power, they'll have 10 damage from Reckless Flurry deals with anything.
There are only 2 taps off of a Hooked Reaver being upgraded, so yeah, it's something they might want to look into, but they want to see this board get cleared. They want to bait some resources out before they really commit, because they know if they drop a Mountain Giant here, it is just going to be answered by either a Brawl or a Reckless Flurry instantly. So they want to at least hold on to that and make sure they can get it on a better tempo play.
So Glenn is like the one choice I wasn't going to suggest.
Glenn
Glaymane. Glenn Glaymane. But the Lich King, just playing it there. You at least for that. Oh wait.
I think Gen's fine. You just get it out of your hand. It's pretty low value card anyway. But they just want to try and bait out something as soon as possible, I guess.
Wait. They just skipped their turn.
They didn't even attack.
No, they did attack.
They did attack, yeah.
That's all they did.
Yeah, they didn't play anything because they don't want to play into a board clear. I think that's the idea here. I still think going, even if you're just going to pass, get Gen out of your hand because he's a worthless card anyway.
But we saw that Oxford were okay with taking this damage.
Yeah.
So I don't agree with not playing anything there, but the amount of threats they have in there on the boards. Because now they've just been left with a 4/4 because Superlight is played. Playing Twilight Drake here and Mountain Giant, but I feel like they should have played at least the Twilight Drake last turn, because that baits out the Reckless Flurry, which means that this turn that's now about to happen, more than likely, wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have dealt with the Mountain Giant.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot more questionable as a play by Manduin to just completely skip the turn.
It's definitely the play that they've done that I'd much rather the most.
Yeah, I'd much rather have seen the I personally would have just gone for Gen. As I said, it's the lowest value card in the deck, so just get it out of your hand, stop it from clogging up your hand anymore, and then, for example, bait out the Reckless Flurry, like you're saying, bait out a Brawl, just try and get something to get rid of it. And now they are in a situation where they're much likely to just be full cleared.
Mm-hmm.
What now?
So we saw them not attack last turn. They probably should try to deal with this board this turn.
Yeah.
Sorry, not attack. Sorry, only use the Super Glider, not. So what they might do, they could potentially play Iron Beak and trade into Twilight Drake if they don't want to use this for Reckless Fire.
Well, it just gives them a perfect Super Collider.
Yeah. It is, and then they can armor up again next turn. So they're still on 30.
Yeah, they don't want to waste any additional armor by going for like a shield block or anything. So keeping their armor input up, or armor output rather.
But this does mean that they can just slam down that Lich King.
Yeah. I mean, the best thing you've really got here, it feels really bad, is Iron Beak. You don't really want to be Iron Beaking this, because just that extra card generation for them. You don't want to see them get like the Frostmourne and then start hitting you in the face.
Yeah. Frostmourne would be probably the best one here, just because of how slow this matchup is.
Yeah.
Harmony Dead, not great. You don't want to burn Gul'dan. Obliterate's a good card here. It can deal with like
terrible.
a Direhorn Hatchling. Doom Pact, not not exactly, because if Doombat could be good to hold on to if they eventually get into fatigue.
Yeah. It's just
because
right now, it's
Gul'dan is that an option of if they get into fatigue, you have that 3 health return. You actually, a lot of the time, as long as you keep the warrior below, let's say, 30 health, you're normally actually in a winning situation. I've won games as even warlock into control warrior where you just win out games because you have that life tap.
Yeah, the
not life tap, the upgrade, the
upgraded Gul'dan hero power, the feast. So it's just being able to get that, as we said, like it's so easy to quantify because you can just go tank up, that's 4 health difference to the enemy hero per turn. And then the Gul'dan, 3 damage and lifesteal, that's 6 health difference to the enemy hero per turn. You outvalue tank up.
So
as long as you keep them from getting to the point where they can just arm up through your damage and you can't heal anymore.
Yeah, Mandarin here are debating whether to play their Great Amethyst Spellstone. The downsides of playing that is that they can't then play 7/7 hit reavers. But do they need to?
This might be a good silence target, yeah.
They actually... Okay, I like what they've done here. They played a proliferate to get below 50, to then play the hooked reaver, and now they have such a big board to deal with. And we have seen 1 Dynamatic, we have seen 1 Reckless Flurry. I believe we've seen a Brawl.
I'm not sure we have.
Oh no, we have not. But would we have seen one if they did have one? Potentially.
Yeah, we've seen one of the 2 super colliders as well. So
yeah.
But that's what really works about the Sun Fury Protector here. It really effectively just naturally plays around the super collider.
Mm-hmm. They're probably Mandarin just hedging their bets that there isn't another removal, and their read, as we can see, has been correct.
What now?
So I can see a shield bot being played here, trying to draw, trying to see if they can get that Brawl.
I mean, the high rolliest play possible is to just Dynamatic and hope 3 of the hits hit the Sun Fury and then hit the Lich King.
So they got the Brawl. They got the
Brawl anyway, yeah.
And the owl was green. Does that mean it survived? Yeah, the owl survived. So
that's the best possible outcome.
Oxford's got an amazing out. Like they recognized the fact that if they drew, they could get that removal. Mm-hmm. They then got the removal. They then got the best outcome. It was great play from them. I don't think that was RNG there. They recognized that was what they needed to do, and it is what happened.
The only RNG was what survived it, and still, regardless, the play was effective because they set up the best possible scenario. Yeah.
Now Oxford need to make a board, but not too big of a board. Probably playing a Baku here.
What now?
I can also see the argument for playing Stonehill or playing Dynamatic. Dynamatic dealing 5 damage, then you can use that last Super Collider to win. Could you have another Super Collider in hand?
Yeah. And then you can throw down a Stonehill and Hero Power.
Yeah. There are a lot of lines here. None that I hate other than the ones that aren't worthwhile. So yeah. Playing the Super Collider, Dynamatic, Stonehill turn. What do they want to pick up here? Maybe just a booty. Tarlord doesn't generate a threat, but it does have better protection.
The other option is the cornered sentry to set up an empty deck.
That's a trolling clip if that were to be the case.
It's exactly. I say it with a smile for a reason. It's not really the optimal play at all.
No.
But it's the dream scenario where you end up stealing a giant enemy minion. You steal that 7/7 hooked Reaver and leave them with 3/1/1s.
Yeah. It would have been amazing, but they went for the Tarlord there. And
they went for the consistency.
Your original instinct was the choice. Mossy Horror probably not get much better value than just getting rid of that Stonehill.
Yeah.
So playing that, I don't agree with using the spot here. There is no way of them getting enough damage to face that turn.
It's this kind of matchup that I was afraid of when I talked about this odd quest warrior earlier. I mentioned that it doesn't have any cards that cost more than 5 mana other than Baku. So it loses the value of all of the Dr. Booms, all of the Omega Assemblies, and when you end up in these more controlly situations, you just fall massively behind on value.
I just thought of something. We want Warrior to win here.
To avoid the Warrior Mirror.
To avoid the Warrior Mirror.
Yeah.
And honestly, Warrior's looking in good stead. It does want to deal with this Mossy Horror to avoid that Bone Mare.
Yeah.
Because a Bone Mare on that Mossy is just so threatening. But as we can see, there's no way of dealing with it in hand. Baki being played, it is something that can trade into that Mossy. But I can just see Plated Beetle and Bone Mare being played this turn. Which is more than likely what we're going to see, but we'll obviously have to wait. I don't see a better play, but these players are way better than I am. There was the option to tap into Hooked Reaver, but it's still less stats on board. So that's 6 damage to face. Zeliax is a good pickup. This would have been a great board to play Corner Sentry into MC Tech.
Yeah.
It actually would have been.
See, I told you guys. You didn't believe me.
You were correct, but there was no way of telling that Mandarin were gonna play like this. Having this option for them to do, because you only want it if it's a 50%, right?
Yeah.
And it's a 50% with this current board, but with how expensive, you're likely, other than a cooldown turn, to not play have 3 minions on board. So
yeah, this unfortunately puts it on 8, but it at least kills the 2/3 and sets you up to the Ziliax to yeah, you still, that's 5 out of 7 on the quest. They've got the completion in hand. It's just a case of it's going to require 2 turns with the Tar Lord and the Abomination.
Gonna tap here, see what they can get. Swampoo's amazing pickup. Gets rid of that Super Glider, gets rid of a way of their board being cleared, and it is the last Super Glider, so you're really happy with it.
Yeah, and now you can.
But it does mean that they have to play the again.
Now you can position your minions brainlessly as God intended.
you can, and
Shields up.
I don't think there was This is just gonna be a simple trade. You got 5/2, you got 2/3 on board. Phantom Militia. Okay.
Yep.
Great pickup here. But also that or Abomination, the right pickup. But we haven't seen a Spellbreaker, so Phantom Militia here is the line of play I would probably play. There is also merit to just chucking a Tar Lord down.
Yeah.
With a Gluttonous Ooze.
And you can get you can choose to get the quest completion this turn and try and play for it next turn, but
they don't really want to. I don't think they want to complete the quest right now. The time they will want to complete the quest, as I mentioned earlier, in the previous matchup, is when their original win condition is no longer looking likely. But at the moment, it's not looking unlikely. So
the idea there is you can complete the quest and just hold Sulfurous.
Yeah.
For all that matters.
Yeah, which is what they're going to do.
Yeah.
I did like the Tar Lord there, but it has been so many turns, and we've not seen a single Spellbreaker with him running 2. The likelihood of him having at least 1 in hand is quite high. So spreading out the board, the right decision. But we do see a board clear here. They can trade into the Phantom Militias and just Hellfire.
And that would give them the full
clear.
It
will give them the full clear.
They could just play again, get a 6/5 on board.
Yeah, not much else of a threat that we know of from Oxford.
Yeah, the 3 damage, of course, puts them on 15. so they would have been in Hook Reaver range anyway. But instead, just going for that Defile.
Potentially looking into the fact that this might be going towards more of a fatigue game, wanting to not deal that 3 damage to themselves.
Yeah.
But it does also mean that they missed out on 3 damage to face. What was correct?
Perfectly balanced as well.
We don't know. Not again. What did they play here? Again, the Tarlord quite easily deals with the Gen in terms of the Gen can't attack it. Don't like this. I'm not a fan.
It's dealing with one big threat at a time, and
well, not even necessarily
although you haven't seen the next brawl, or I believe there's only one. They're both Reckless Flurries have been used, but they still got one brawl. They're just gonna play Blood Reaver Gul'dan anyway.
Yeah, they don't want to draw anymore, so that hero power is useless. That 5 arm, all these minions for 3 minions, and a Siphon Soul. Plus, less likely to be hit by Die Insect, the target that you least want. Also, easy play there.
They're only 3 cards ahead on Fatigue right now. So with their hero power intact, they can start to get some decent value out of it if they can keep the board white now.
So what are them 4 cards left by Mandarin? 1 Spell Stone. It is, I believe, a Twilight Drake. Have we only seen 1?
I believe
no, we've seen both, I think.
Right. Yeah.
A Defile. We've only seen 1 of them.
We've only seen 1 Vulgar Homunculus. Are they running 2?
Yep. And 1 Dread Inferno. Oh, they only run 1. So maybe it's another Hellfire.
Yeah, I could believe it's another Hellfire, another Vulgar Homunculus, and one of the Spellstones. What did you say the other card was there?
Defile.
Defile, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's the full that. That was a nice Die Insect, getting the 1 minion that they had to attack through. That Omega Defender.
And there's the
tasty,
Shroom Brewer.
Actually. Shroom Brewer, that's... Okay, so one Shroom Brewer.
One of us wasn't right.
Yeah. Well, I was definitely wrong, because I mentioned all 4 that we mentioned.
So only the... I was thinking from the Gul'dan, only one of the Vulgar Homunculuses was resummoned. So it was unlikely to be a second one. We've seen both Plated Beetles now. One in hand, one on board.
Anyway, the play here could be Hellfire Trade. Yeah. Oh,
Hellfire
no.
tap, heal up. Nice.
Really good. Yeah. Really good played. It means that they keep a 6/5 on board. Can just smash that 6 damage in the face. 6 damage is a lot at this point. But we see there are 3 big taunts in Oxford's hands. They have an Omega Defender, which is a 12/6. They have a Daihorn Matriarch, which is a 6/9 taunt, and they have a Tarlord, which is on their turn a 5/11, as in Mandarin's turn.
But they've also got 2 Spellbreakers in hand, so especially playing a Omega Defender, turning a 12/6 taunt into a 2/6.
What now?
Definitely value.
Oxford decided to hero power first to see what the outcome was, but hero power first does mean that they can't play both Daihorn Matriarch and Omega Defender. So choosing here to just play that down, they can do 9 damage here, play a Hooked Reaver. They've got a lot of options. I didn't like that hero power, in case you didn't
in case you couldn't tell from the tone.
Yeah, it was a 50-50 chance, and they didn't get that 50. But there were other plays there that meant you had boards, and I think the threat on board was very important there. Because now they're in this situation that they're in.
Is there value to just trading the Dread Infernal in life stealing the 6/9, and then playing a Hook Reaver and the Plated Beetle? And maybe Vulgar Homunculus on top of it.
Yeah, they can play a lot. They obviously don't want to take too much damage, so their Vulgar isn't their favorite thing to play. I can see just Spellbreaker, Hood Reaver, and Sun Soul being done. Sun Soul into the mind control is so good, right? Yeah, that's what we see because that they can't kill the Hood Reaver with just Skyhorn. They need to also have some form of damage. Obviously, Dire Insect could do that for them. Fiery War Axe, but that's 7 damage to face. You've probably lost at that point. So it's not looking good for Oxford. I thought they were in quite a favorable matchup, but they've just done a couple of decisions of like 50-50 where I think they've taken the wrong line, and it's hurt them. It's meant that they're in this situation where there's a high chance they can lose the game, and they've done it again. They've hero powered, but now that they can't play 2 taunts, so if there's a Spellbreaker, which there's a 66% chance of them having the second Spellbreaker based on they're drawing another card next turn.
Yeah.
How are they going to handle a Spellbreaker now? They're not. They've just played into the fact that they now just have to hope that there is no silence, which, as we've seen, there is a silence.
You know, it's looking pretty nice for them right now. They're looking at 3-0 pretty shortly, and you know, they're eyeing up those Aces Zenpad tablets, looking for a 4-0, but it does mean that they are going to have to go to the Odd Warrior to close it out if we do see it, and it looks like it's going to be very shortly. And this is this is just Spellbreaker into double hit face. That's it.
This is game. As I said, this is they did the wrong line. They lost because of that, and this is why Mandarin have got this far, having the best record. They are the most consistent team. They play really well. They quite often. I have seen a couple of times, but they quite often know their win condition very well, and they adapt when their win condition changes. That's something we haven't seen from Oxford, is adapting their win condition when it changes.
Yeah, so like the fact that they went for the Sulfuras so early when they could have just continued armoring up and continued trying to hold on to it. The moment they played that Sulfuras, it was just Janemi turned it on. Okay, we're going in, we're slamming down all the minions on the board. We're gonna go wide on the board because we know they can't contest anymore. We know that they can't armor up through the damage, so we can just hit them in the face and try and burn them down. And
so
yeah, it went against them.
So we're looking into the next matchup. It's Mandarin's Warrior up against any of Oxford decks other than their Druid, because that was bad.
Yeah, so the Oxford decks include Quest, Odd Warrior, and Big Spell Mage, which we've seen. The other ones which we haven't seen are Cube Lock and that Mind Blast. Priest. Yeah. Priest, which is unlikely to be seen. It's probably the least favorable matchup of these because you just armor through all the potential burst. That deck does run Alistraza, but it doesn't matter when you have 40 armor.
Yeah, it doesn't. The most favorable matchup in my mind is probably that Cube Block.
Yeah.
I'm a genius. They have queued up the Cube Block. It's the only one that I can see them getting a win on the board with.
Yeah.
And yeah, they at least want one win. You don't want to go home. Well, they're already at home because they're playing at home. But you want to leave this series having not at least game, especially in a game like Hearthstone where you do have favorable matchups, and they've lost a favorable matchup earlier. They need to just they want to get that win on the board. It brings up their morale if they do win, so it's the right choice to bring your most favorable matchup.
Yeah, 100%. They want to go for the favorable matchup now, try and set themselves up, and they want to get themselves as close to a Game 7 as possible, likely to go for the Priest matchup then, which is the least favorable, I'd say, of the remaining decks.
Well, I mean, of course, they don't want to just go to Game 7. They want to win it.
But the likely matchup they go for in a Game 7 is to go try and hold on. We've seen teams go for this in the past. Just go for your least favorable matchup last, and just try and play down the order towards a more difficult scenario.
I think morale is a massive thing in this game. I think that they hold on for that last matchup if they do get to a Game 7 to be that Warrior matchup. And well, I don't know if I hope that too, mirror? But the Warrior mirror. Like at this point, if we go all the way, we're definitely going to see. And I think you leave that to last, purely because of mindset. At this point, Mandarin have played incredibly well throughout.
Yeah.
Play for getting them to fatigue, force them into mistakes. Even if it's not you forcing them into mistakes by gameplay, but by just going the full slog, right?
I can definitely see the value in that, and the value for us is that it's less likely to be a warrior mirror if it continues all the way to the end.
It does, but I'm going into very in-depth like psychology, and a lot of the time people don't think the same way I do. I have a weird way of thinking, and I'd like to think I'm right in what I'm saying, that they want to hold on to the warrior, but they might not have thought of that. They might think differently, more than likely think differently. Now, looking into this game, we've seen the double kobold. We've seen the warrior just hero power both turns. Are they gonna coin out the Skull of Minari here without having that Doom Guard? Do they go for the aggressive early net? Or do they try and just play a slower game as the Warlock? I like playing a faster game, which we now see them do. Because playing a slow game into this warrior, you're playing right into their hands. They want you to play slow. They want you to just not be able to get your threats out on the board. They want, because if they always have you're just giving the warrior more time to get their board removed.
Yeah, you want to keep the armor low, keep the reckless flurry to a minimum amount of damage so it can't deal with those void lords. Put yourself in the optimal scenario to try and just get him low enough to the point where you don't die to fatigue, you don't have to worry about the extra couple cards that you've drawn because of your hero power.
Yeah, and we see here that they got that Doom Guard off the Skull of Minari because the Direhorn was put down.
Yeah.
The greatest
Playing
is pain.
So they're setting up for the possessed lackey next turn. This has to be dealt with, is the call?
Yeah, I think Mandarin, Oxford looked at that and went, would they have used removal last turn? Maybe. But no, not even that. Oh my god, my brain's not working today. I'm so sorry. They're just playing to force out board removal. They have the Dark Pact possessed lackey for a couple of turns. Unfortunately, yeah, they didn't have the 100% removal. They only have the Brawl or the Shield Slam. But they want to get damage away with that Shield Slam. Zilex here, being pulled, not the greatest pull. Probably because they've seen that Direhorn Owl, Iron Beak Owl. They could just play Possessed Lackey here. Because they've seen that one silence, the chance of them having another silence is low.
Yes. Oh yes. They'll serve
and they've got two boardlets still in their deck.
Just trading in the Kobold, just making it much easier to keep everything safe, keep everything healthy, and you know that you're going to be slowly killing yourself, so you just want to get them to the point where the health differential isn't too large by the time you can actually make a big tempo swing.
Mm-hmm.
Rotten Apple Bomb doesn't sound too bad here because you're predicting that they are going to be able to break through your armor pretty soon if you do go for it.
Yeah. None of them are the world's best pickups, but yeah, Apple Bomb is probably the best.
Yep.
Because you don't get that value from the health restore right now, not currently, because you have the armor. Opting to just hero power there, not needing to play that mind control tech. That mind control tech can be pivotal in this matchup.
Yeah. So you've seen the shield slam already, so having Mountain Giant isn't too bad, but again, you don't want to go too wide, you don't want to play into a pretty nice Super Collider or a Brawl. We see they've got both available to them.
Yeah, and just playing that Stonehill means that they can't trade the Possessed Lackey to kill it, they have to kill it off themselves.
Yep.
How they choose to do that, I don't know. Whether they trade the Spirit Singer,
Trade both
Hellfire,
Dark Pact, yeah.
or maybe, yeah, trade Dark Pact. Okay, they could have traded Defiles to kill the Stonehill, get the 3 damage to face. Would that have been over aggressive? Probably. Would it have given them certain lines where they could win quicker? Yeah, for sure. That's obviously 3 damage they've now missed to face. Mountain Giant here could be good. It would force out a brawl or something.
I actually prefer the Ziliax if you want to bait out a brawl much more so, because you still get to keep the 8/8, and it's still a threat that makes the brawl much more likely.
I personally just didn't think that it was going to force out any form of brawl with the Ziliax, but they do draw that. Was it the Super Collider they drew? Or
they already had it in hand.
Oh, they
go for the Super Collider over the brawl.
Yeah, I didn't think that Oxford was going to bet out the brawl regardless of the Super Collider.
A Mountain Giant would almost certainly bait it out, but at what point are you baiting it out, and what point are you just wasting resources?
Yeah, I think they can enter the brawl now though as Oxford a lot safer now that they have the second Mountain Giant in hand. So probably tapping a Mountain Giant in here.
I would agree.
Tap, see what you get. Shut down a Mountain Giant. They did get the Lackey, so they could just play the Lackey out, and then next time play a Giant, because then that brawl is benefiting you in the sense of you can get another Void Lord out, but it could also not benefit you in the sense of, oh, we've now got a 2/2 on board because of the brawl and 3/1/1s. We'll see. Probably, yeah, just Mountain Giant. But they did seemingly debate playing that Possessed Lackey.
So, this is a game where I don't think you want to play Dr. Boom very early. You want to wait until at least you've got a decent Omega Assembly and a decent amount of mechs to be worth going for Dr. Boom. We talked about it before in some of the other Warrior matchups. It can be more beneficial to go for an early Dr. Boom.
Unfortunately,
unlucky there on the Mountain Giant, yeah.
Not getting. It's still a 1/3 body though. It's something that they have to deal with. I was thinking they were doing that play, so that they could just brawl and have more chance of like a 25% chance of the Mountain Giant not surviving. But they did it to try and get the MC tech. They didn't. Unfortunate. Do I prefer the brawl there? It's about the same. Obviously, that could have just swung the game in Mandarin's favor if they got it. So I think they, because they're 3 up in this series, can afford to make the lower probability play. Because they can just win from this game. They have. I do think, as I alluded to, I do think that the Warlock is currently favored. Still, we'll get a Hellfire here to get that 8 damage to face.
Yeah. I think, especially when we're looking at the phase of the game where you can pull out the Blood Reaver around, it's too heavy of a swing and too heavy consistent tempo to really be outvalued so consistently by the Warrior. Especially after both of the brawls are gone, if you have to deal with like Mountain Giants, etc. with the brawls, then it really tears it to pieces.
I would have really liked for them to have tapped first that turn. They drew the Carnivorous Cube. That could have meant that they could have just played the Carnivorous Cube on a Mountain Giant. However, it probably doesn't change too much. Other than the fact that it dealt with the Mountain Giant. So what we're seeing here is, again, not the Dr. Boom. They see it the same way you do. Don't get the Dr. Boom out early. I agree. But they're left in a situation where, there wasn't much of an option other than tap.
Yeah, it's the choice of consistently 4 armor every turn, or the 1 in 5 that you'll get 7 armor in a turn. And it does kind of even out at about 3 armor every turn on average, but it's not particularly valuable. It's like 2.66, I think, is the average armor you'd get per turn.
Yeah. Seeing the hand is quite awkward from Oxford at this point. Do they want to play the Mountain Giant, then play the Spellstone to get that 3 damage to face? Because we don't want Mandarin to just keep building up armor. It's a tricky one because I don't think there's any other line other than maybe the Possessed Lackey. Again, Possessed Lackey, Spellstone.
Yeah, with both of the Void Lords both having been summoned, it's guaranteed to summon a Doom card now. So having a guaranteed, having the ability to summon a guaranteed 5/6 with charge at any point is definitely valuable. If you can look like you've been just a trade next turn, you know you can get the more beneficial trade. It means that Mando would have to be aware of that. Mando would have to play around that. If they summon just a large taunt minion or a large minion in general, it can just be traded off much more effectively, or even just bursted to the face.
So,
Ooh.
another voice crack. I know. I'm going through puberty again for some reason. Do they want to go for the 50% here? Trade into the Void Lord with your Super Collider, bring out that Doom Guards, and then Brawl 50%? Or do they want to go for a different line of play? I think playing the shield block here, you're already so far on fatigue, in the fatigue battle, that drawing a card here can be pivotal, because if they then get the Reckless Flurry off of this,
Yeah.
they can kill the board. So I think playing shield block, seeing what you get, and then deciding your turn afterwards is the play. But they're just planning to get a presence on boards, because they know that there is no way of them killing off the Possessed Lackey unless they have another removal. Drawing the Doom Guard here, not great. There's nothing they can get off Possessed Lackey now. So
of course, that's gonna give full knowledge that the Doom Guard is in hand when it dies.
Yeah.
From the
So
fact
they probably
that it pulls
just
nothing.
that changes their plan a bit, of that they're just gonna have to play Mountain Giant this turn.
Yeah.
But Mountain Giant into what? The cube, you want to keep on to Doom Guard in this matchup because you want to get that more damage opposed to playing for the more Void Lords.
Unfortunately, now it's not guaranteed though, because you've got Doom Guard could just discard your Carnivorous Cube.
Yeah. So getting this Mountain Giant, they can go for the play I said last turn again with the shield block, because it does get you up to 8 armor and hopefully getting that Reckless Flurry.
Of course, the other option is the play you said the turn before, which is just use the Super Collider into Brawl. So you try and pull out the Doom Guard, and so they play into the Void Lord.
There is no other Doom Guard, right?
But they play as if they're going to pull out another Doom Guard by Super Collidering in. And when they realize there's not, then they have to change their line of play, but that seems to be another option. They hovered the Dynamatic there for a second. Just obviously the chance that it can pull out. And it seems
I
like
don't like it, because it just forces them, if it misses, to do the Super Collider that they could have done anyway. They did get lucky enough.
But now they get a Brawl with the 1 and 3, yeah.
But they could have done that anyway if they just Super Collider, right?
Yeah.
And then Dynamatic. But
it's funny with that, the worst case scenario was every single shot of that comes up from the weapon, something I didn't actually consider.
We've seen a singular Iron Beak, haven't we?
Yes.
So the chances of them having another Iron Beak are slim. So what can happen here is they can just cube.
Cube, exactly. Yeah, you cube and then cube the cube.
Yeah. And get a lot of damage from this. Don't know if there's any other play. I think that's literally just what they do.
I would agree with you.
They are playing correctly, just sitting there, thinking through all the possibilities. You quite often see it in pro play, that you get the better a player is, a lot of the time, the more likely they are to broke every turn. You might just not think of a certain play.
So that's why I spend 5 seconds on every turn. I go, the first play I thought of, that's the one I'm going for. No rope ever.
For some players that works though, because sometimes you self-doubt your play.
Yeah.
But they did the play we said, and they've got this warrior down to 9 health, and as we can tell, there is no way to currently deal with that board. So now they're going for the shield block play. They've got the Azalina, but what does that achieve? It doesn't achieve anything. So they're now having to go for a Mega Assembly. They're just looking for outs, and they've not really got one.
They found a taunt at least, but that's the best they've got.
but they have a better taunt already.
Yeah, so they've just got additional taunts to try and stall it out for longer, but that's all they've got. That's the only hope they've got. And they can't really use the Super Collider now, and that faceless manipulator.
So you don't want to face this manipulator, the cube, because the cube just holds cubes. So the only likely thing to face and manipulate is the Doom Guard or the Direhorn Matriarch, right?
So you could do 11 damage to face this turn. If you just go, you trade in the cube, you trade in one of the Doom Guards, you faceless the other Doom Guards, and then 2 to face and the Void Walker.
So what they could do is they could Defile.
Yeah.
Then Godfrey, because Godfrey will only do 2 ticks, right?
Yeah.
And then they've got lethal, I believe.
So Defile with...
No.
Yeah.
5, 9. Then they'd have 9 damage to face. They did that play.
Defile Godfrey, yeah.
Do they know that the cube gets rid of the death rattles that were on? Because these no longer, they don't. I guess it just makes it bigger.
I think it's just the wider board, yeah.
So this is where the Iron Big Owl has now come out. Bit late, but I don't think it would have made much of a difference anyway. Bronze Gatekeeper gets you another minion on board. I think this is lost from Anduin now. I don't see an out.
I wonder.
Yeah, it really only seems like they can get something along the lines of a brawl and hope. But even then, with all the with 2 more carnivorous cubes that can be summoned,
denied.
it doesn't seem like it's possible for them.
Magic neutralized.
They get a big taunt though.
Big ass.
That generates armor every time it takes damage. But is that going to win them the game? I don't think so. It is the only line that could possibly work. There is no silence in the hand. 5 damage, 2 armor, so that's 12 health.
Must destroy.
They can play the Hellfire. So then, I think they can still win this turn. I do think they have lethal, but
I'm not sure they do. I think all the additional armor.
The Hellfire can do.
It's all the additional armor every time.
Don't know whether the
file was so that they only have to create 2 more.
Yeah, you're right.
So it still gains 8 armor on the turn, so it's not particularly worthwhile. But regardless, we're in a situation where Gul'dan has a likelihood to pull out multiple Doom Guards, and that can finish the game quite happily. If they're struggling to contest with this board, it's going to get worse.
Also, I've seen them do it a couple of times. They tap after they've played card. The general rule is if your line of play means you're going to tap first, just in case. I don't think there was any possibility of them drawing out a better play. However, yeah, just tap last. First, sorry, not last.
Don't tap last. Of course, these elementals gives them 1 spark they can just happily trade in there.
This might well have got them back into the game.
Yeah. And that's the power of Omega Assembly, kids.
Blood Reaver Gul'dan is the main draw here that gets them in it. Like, Prince Tal'Daram onto the cube is nice, but that cube just holds cubes.
Yeah.
But again, that could just be enough pressure. You could, in fact, no, you don't want to Prince Tal'Daram and Hellfire.
At what point do you want to Azalina? Because it's not something you want to play before you've really got the value out of the cards you have in hand. So you still got like Dr. Boom you want to play, but at the same time, I think you want to play it before you see the Blood Reaver Gul'dan, so you can match your hero power.
I didn't like the tap there. You had Gul'dan and another card that probably isn't going to be useful to you. No, I do. You confirm that you're going to have the Gul'dan. turn. You confirm that you can just drop it down.
Yeah.
Nice, really nice play here from Mandarin. They've definitely got themselves back into this game. In fact, I'd argue that they're now actually favored. Depending on what Gul'dan pulls. But how does Oxford deal with this board? They have no silences. Do they even have any? No, yeah, they have no silences. What can they do? Just slam down Gul'dan, but they've got two. They have one cube at least living. So that's one less board space.
Yeah.
No, not even that. It's just so awkward now for Oxford. It's just not looking good. Mandarin look like they're actually on track to winning.
Yeah.
The three aces.
I think if you can clear off the board this turn, then if you are Mandarin, that is, if it comes to a point where you can clear off the board, it's just fine to Azalina, because you have the ability to keep drawing cards. That's gone for them. You have exactly the same cards as them and more. You can only have larger value.
So they're just playing for the bigger board.
Yeah. The big board.
And they still have a cube that holds a cube.
Yeah, and they also just got them MC Tech as well, which is definitely a helper. Dr. Boom would give them 7 armor.
And they can trade off 1 of the damage and gain and take away at least 2 damage with the MC Tech.
Yeah.
But that still leaves a possible 12 damage next turn.
That's lethal still.
It's still lethal. Yep. What is good here from them?
What now?
Not much. They also recognize that if they don't win in the next couple of turns, Mandarin probably get back into this. They actually save the game. So we have to see what this MC Tech rules. Ideally, the very left kind of group, but they at least got one of them. Trade into one of the Sunlight Chain Gangs here.
Still 10 damage on board.
Super Collider trade. I'm beat the one on the left. Spark. That's game from Oxford.
Yep.
Not really sure if there was a way of getting out of it there. So yeah, Oxford winning their first game of the series. Currently 3-1 to Mandarin. But they do get that win on the Warrior, which means we have, I can announce this, we have avoided the Warrior Mirror.
We managed to do it. We have survived it. And it does mean, though, that there's still going to be that... it's going to be that Warrior deck.
Yeah, we're still going to have that Warrior from Mandarin there, so we are going to see slow games. And none of the decks from Oxford are very fast. The fastest one they have is the deck we just saw with that Q block. I'm completely wrong. I don't know why I've done this.
Yeah, so it's Big Spell Mage, the Half-Baked Combo Priest, and the Quest Odd Warrior still remaining. So this right now, for example, could be the Warrior Mirror.
I'm happy to
Which it is!
That Odd Warrior matchup is back on the cards because I was wrong, and we have got Odd Warrior matchup.
Oh no. It's here, right? Okay. How do we talk about it? That's the finals. We can't talk about anything but the game. They could win. This could be the final game of the day. We got to be serious in an Odd Warrior Mirror. How do we do this?
So Odd Warrior. The key thing in the matchup that you have to do is to not draw. But this isn't any normal Odd Warrior matchup.
Yes, this is a specific, a variant of the matchup with the Quest versus the Ordinary one. And
I think I favor Quest.
See, this is interesting because the Ordinary Warrior has the ability to get all these mechs and get much more value out of trading and get much wider boards. But the the Quest Warrior has that consistent source of damage. It's obviously from the hero powers, so it's when do you want to turn it on? When do you want to press the button to start burning down that damage? When do you want to start filling your board with minions if you are the mechs?
Yeah, I think you do it when there is no board from Mandarin. You do that so you can get that 8 damage to face. Normally, with the hero power, you don't want 8 damage to face. But in this matchup, you want that 8 damage to face. I'm glad that both teams recognize to not keep hold of that shield block. You don't want to draw. Because this matchup goes to fatigue so often, you just don't want the fatigue.
So the best way I can describe this matchup to anybody who's not seen it is, do you remember the episode of Pokemon from when you were kids, where there was a Metapod versus a Metapod? Both using Harden aggressively against each other. This is essentially what's happening right here. And eventually when they run out of PP on the Harden, yeah, in this version you run out of cards, you get into the struggle where you take damage every turn. Oh yeah, that's exactly the same as what's going on here.
It is. Apart from, it does eventually end.
Yes.
And
so does Metapod versus Metapod.
It does, but at least this one. Yeah, you're right. It's such a good analogy. I was trying to pick it apart, but yeah, it just is that. It just is Metapod versus Metapods, and hopefully it doesn't go that way. Hopefully we just see players playing aggressively, as we see with the coin out Elise. Is Elise part of the Oxford's Warrior? I don't think it is. No, it's not. So not having the Elise is a downside, because obviously the Elise puts a pack into your deck. It's another card off of fatigue. Yeah. And so straight off the bat, Mandarin are just winning the fatigue battle. Maybe Oxford will recognize this, and they're just going to play overly aggressive, try and get as much out on board, potentially going for that Sulphurous early, and that might be their win condition.
It also makes in the matchup, because obviously we're talking about fatigue a lot. Diehorn Hatchling is a very good silence target for that reason. You don't want to shuffle the extra time into the deck.
It is a good silence target, but also, if you do silence it, what it can mean is that you don't get to silence something big. And you can get stuff that is quite big in this deck that isn't just the Diehorn. Like a Lich King that you get off of Stonehill, or a lot of other options. Yeah. Not saying that the silence isn't the right play. It is the right play.
Yeah. One of the other big changes to this can be from the fact that there is an Azalina for the Odd Warrior, and for the Quest Warrior there is no Azalina. There's nothing that costs 7. So having the ability to maybe even get Sulphurous, if you're lucky, from an Azalina, you have to really play around that. More astutely with your quest and when you're playing the taunts, to make sure that isn't a possibility.
What I think we're seeing here is exactly why people dropped the quest in this deck. Because there's just other cards that just benefit you more to play into fatigue, and the fatigue gameplay is just a lot more successful than the getting the hero power gameplay. Yeah, it's back to the old days of Justicar True Heart, where you just want to fatigue them to death. You don't have a win condition, you just fatigue them to death. Yeah, I mean, well, that is a win condition, obviously. Yeah, but there's no specific card in your deck that's a win condition. It's just a playstyle that's a win condition. Yeah. We see the Phantom Militia early, not getting the full value of it, not getting 3 of them out. I do agree with that. It's both of them can trade with what is currently on board, gets you closer to that quest, gets you want to get to the quest as quick as possible. Whereas in previous matchups, we've seen it the other way around. Yeah. I do think you want to get to the quest as soon as possible in this one. To try and avoid Azalina stealing it from you, and also just to try and burn down the armor of the so many reasons. Yeah, I really hope it happens, just to see how it gets played out, because Azalina's honestly, like, I've talked about her a few times already, but she's my favorite card in the deck that's here.
because just having the access to your entire opponent's hand, it changes the mentality so much. When you know exactly what they've got, you know exactly what you've got, and you have to play around it. It's just that's the optimal way to play Hearthstone. That's the most interesting way. Yeah,
it is such a high skill to know when to play it.
Exactly.
Especially in this mirror, we saw an Azalina in one of the DreamHack games where they where it was an warrior mirror, where they just chose to not play the Azalina for so long. And what ended up happening? They lost because they hadn't played the Azalina, I believe. Maybe they still won. I'm pretty sure they lost. But that just changes whether you're a good player or a great player. Is when to play that Azalina. It's hard.
Yeah. And I know when myself and Ollie, I believe it was, were casting an Old Warrior Mirror just a couple weeks ago. That ended up being the complete decider of it, just having an Azalina that I think they stole an Omega assembly from it, so they ended up having 3 Omega assemblies in the game. They got an extra Super Collider, so just all the value they could get from it was so important. And now we see, with that Owl being top decked, you can get the silence targets, we said the Diehorn Hatchling, puts them at another advantage playing for the Fatigue game.
Yeah, it's the perfect target. You get rid of that threat. And they're going to also kill the 3/6 body. So now they have a board that cannot be contested, and it will have to potentially bait out either 5 damage to face with that hero, that Fiery War Axe, or a draw, or something along that line, some form of removal.
Yeah, Dynamatic isn't really... Like, it's still probably one of the most optimal options here. Because you've got
drawing that
Fiery War Axe
Dynamatic is great for them.
Yeah, it's just a case of it does give the enemy up to 6 armor.
No, it doesn't, because it's a mech.
Oh, it's a mech, of course.
Yeah.
So it's guaranteed to clear off the...
So it's the right play. You can probably play Dynamatic, and
you can just Fiery War Axe down the 1/3 if you wanted.
Yeah, you can do, or you can get the Stonehill out on board. So
yeah. I think the Stonehill is probably the better option, though. I think you're right on that one.
Yeah. You want to get that value. I don't think Fiery War Axe gives much value. Whereas obviously Stonehill is value. It's a value card. Purely what it is, it gets you. Not good options though. It's either Stubborn Gastropod or Tarlords.
Yeah, I think it's Tarlord in this matchup right now.
Yeah. I mean, there is always the option of just getting Ozrak for that 5/5 body, because what else are you going to do next turn? Phantom Militia 3 times. That's the only other option currently.
Well, looks like it's time to light the fuses in response.
Don't know if I agree with that.
I'm not sure I do either, but they want to keep the board fairly wide. They want to keep pushing damage to face. They are playing very aggressively, I would say, in this matchup.
It does create a board that can trade.
Yeah, I guess knowing that they've got the advantage in fatigue already, does give them that plan, at least that idea of their game plan there.
Do they just play Sulfuras here? Do they play one more Phantom Militia and a Sulfura? I think they
play
do.
Sulfuras and Hero Power.
Do you Hero Power?
Because why would you
Sulfuras?
Yeah, why would you Sulfuras first if you weren't planning on Hero Powering? Yeah.
So they recognised what I was mentioning earlier, that their Hero Power just wins the game. That's 8 damage. That's 4 if you think about the Hero Power. This is just a good read by them, but I don't know if that still wins in the game. I don't. I've not seen this matchup where there's one with quest against one where there isn't. All we have to do is theorize that this is the way that they win. But how often does this line of play win? I don't know. It might be a 20%. It might be a 50%. It might be 80% of the time. Like once you get this, you win. But we'll just have to see. My gut instinct is it makes it 50-50. Just, well, maybe 60-40.
This is it's still I'm glad the one time that we see an Odd Warrior mirror today, it's or at least in the playoffs that I've seen, it's the first Odd Warrior mirror that I've been watching. It's the most interesting one possible, where you've got Quest on one side, and they're both such different deck making choices that have come into this.
So far, it has the most potential to be the most exciting.
Yeah.
However,
Of the Odd Warrior mirrors, but it's still an Odd Warrior mirror.
I have seen an Odd Warrior mirror that was actually quite good, where they discovered mechs and they just made two massive null. What's the 7 mana mech that?
Yeah,
has...
I know the one you mean. The 7 mana 3/8 can't be targeted by.
The null something.
Yeah.
They created a massive 2 or 3 massive versions of that with the magnetics, and it just won the game. And that was the fastest Odd Warrior mirror I've seen. Opting to go for the 25% chance, getting it, but it only keeps 1 damage on board.
Yep.
But this is now 9 damage if you include the hero power. Slowly getting there.
It's
Slowly
chipping away.
Chipping that. It's not even a chip. It's a big dent. 9 damage.
It's the equivalent of 2 hero powers. It's so large.
They do currently only have 2 damage on their Soul Slam, and I don't think they want to play Shield Block unless it's going to win them the game.
Yeah.
So this is just a dead card in hand. Do they care about the dead card? Yes, because of Azalina. Azalina can get that Shield Slam, which can win them the game. Other than that, I think Oxford have the advantage here.
It does seem like it, definitely. They're only maybe 2 turns away if they can continue clearing the board, from having a lethal scenario. Just dropping the MC Tech to just get that little bit of extra damage and get them 2 hero powers away from lethal.
I think they were debating there whether to play the MC Tech or to play the Gluttonous Ooze. Obviously, Gluttonous Ooze gives them more value later on with the Super Club.
Goro pack.
So now...
High roll.
Old and legendary.
Ooh.
Oh, that's... Don't play it now.
No, play Tarlaka.
Yeah,
Tarlaka
exactly.
Primordial Glyph. Primordial Glyph first.
That's not a bad Shield Slam.
Shield Slam's
yeah,
good.
that's not a bad Shield Slam at all. And the fact that they've got several elemental synergy cards, I believe they got the Steam Surger as well. They could
even just play Tarlaka with that now. Just play Tarlaka playing Steam Surge. Maybe with the Shield Slam they're gonna kill the... Weird, I would have played the Tarlaka there. It means that you have a taunt in the way of these minions dealing damage, because 4 damage is, if it goes off twice, it's just as much as that Die Insect.
Yeah. But also at the same time, it's forcing the Die Insect to try and at least get it out of the hand, get it away.
And yeah, and Die Insect doesn't kill it. So if it gets hit, it forces a trade.
Exactly.
So I definitely don't agree with the Steam Surger. It could literally lose in the game here.
So
not this turn.
The 4 Calamos things are fill the board with 1/1s.
Yeah.
Deal 3 damage to all enemies. Is it 3 or 2? 2 damage to all enemies? I think
3
it's
damage.
2. It's 3 damage to all enemies.
Yeah.
Okay. Heal your hero by 12, which is actually surprisingly relevant here. And deal 6 to the enemy hero.
Yeah. You want to go for the hill, in my opinion. That gets you up to 30 health. It brings you back. Well, not 30 anymore, but it brings you up to 28. It is at least 1.5 Die Insects. We'll see what they opt for.
By the elements combined.
Filling the board. They seem to think that they're probably going to lose anyway unless they get pressure on boards. The more minions they have, the less likely they are to be hit by the hero power.
Yeah, so it's just trying to soak up as many Die Insects as possible, rather than just healing to face and trusting you can get a wide board. It's playing against that.
Might lose in the game here is a Reckless Flurry. Playing that Reckless Flurry, because it's only 2 armor, it's probably the best Reckless Flurry you're going to get with no armor generation from hero power anymore. So playing that, hero powering, then all your damage you've got left to face. Hopefully it'll be... I think this is the one turn where Dying's deck, they want to hit Calamus. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see if they recognize that this Reckless Flow is dead maybe this turn.
Yeah, it's...
What does Shield Slam... Oh, they could play the Shield Slam first to get that extra 2 bit of damage. They could just Brawl. There's a lot of choices here. I like this. Okay, that's... I missed... There was that one missing piece I forgot about, and that's the throw. This is a definite 8 damage to face.
Puts him on 10. Gives him lethal on board next turn, 100%. Gets them down to now 8. So yeah, it's...
Stonehill's a good pickup though. But does it still... Can they still win the game? So they're playing Stonehill first. See what they're getting. Or anything really worth it?
No, not really. This is a pretty poor situation.
Okay.
So the only time I think you want to go cornered sentry there is if you've got Brawl and they've got big minions, so you go cornered sentry into Brawl.
Yeah.
To have a higher chance of leaving just something crappy on the board.
Yeah, I think that's why they went for it. Although they don't have a Brawl right now.
Yeah.
But it is... But... 50-50 here. They want to hit face. I'm sure. Which means that they have a 50-50 next turn. That's 1 to face. Next turn, if they get face, they win.
So what I'd be looking for here is I'd go Omega Assembly, and there's a chance you could get the Beryllium Nullifier. That's the word.
That is the one.
But you could also get the Eternum Rover plus any kind of rush mechanic you can get on top of it. Try and just gain that extra armor to put you out of range of the Die Insect. So I think that's one of the few options they've got left. Of course, Shield Block is a desperation play if they are forced into it.
Yes, it's desperation, but
there's still one card ahead on, sorry, 1 card behind rather, I guess you should say.
So Goblin Bomb is pretty good here. Sorry, not Goblin Bomb, Mechanical Warp. But there's still the chance that... No, they can't lose it. They gain enough armor. It's at least another 2 turns.
Yeah, so, and they've got Shield Block, another Shield Block as well, which they top decked from it. But they've got 10 cards in hand. They need to dump some stuff here.
I think they're going to play Spirit. I think they should play Spirit, because if they play Spirit and it's not the one that gets killed, that's 2 bodies they get next turn. Just playing Mechanical World. Okay.
Oh, they get the hit roll on it. Okay.
Okay. They went for a 25% chance. Not even that. Any option was actually not too bad because of the body. But they got the best option. That was good. I'm impressed.
Pretty good play, yeah. The cornered sentry works.
However, there is that rule. Maybe all they have... If one of the minions stays, they win.
Yep. And that's it. That's it.
That's good.
That's lethal. And we survived the Odd Warrior mirror. That was a very interesting matchup, but we ended up being the Sulfurus completed early enough to start burning it down. Both of the rolls didn't show up from the side of Manduin, so not much they could do in terms of board play in response.
I don't think Brawl was that useful though, purely because of the hero power, right?
Yeah, it's just they couldn't really deal with the taunts that easily at several points in the game, and they ended up leaving 2 or 3 minions on the opposing side without really being able to respond for long periods, and ended up like 4, 6, 8. It added up quite a large amount of the game.
Even though we've only seen one matchup where it has been Quest and Warrior, like normal Odd Warrior, I do think Quest Warrior is favored. Based off what we just saw,
yeah,
it is favored. Obviously we can't say that for sure. This one matchup is 1 game's worth of stats. But we're now going into our, 6th game?
Yeah.
Where we have Warrior up against Mage. It's that Odd Warrior and it's that Big Mage. I think Warrior wins them. As long as they keep their removal for later on in the game to handle that Dragon Caller Alana, they win.
It's
They
hard
win
for the mage to get enough of a board presence to.
Yeah, the only way they get a board presence is getting the perfect curve,
Yeah.
or getting a Dragon Caller Alana when there is no removal from the enemy. Which is why I think this warrior is just favored to win this. I think
None will
it's very unlikely for Oxford to win. It's more likely for Mandarin to.
Yeah, it seems unlikely that the warrior will lose this one, just simply from the fact that there's decks around busting people down in the mid game, and warrior just has that 4 armor every turn, so it's unlikely to fall prey to that. And it doesn't really build big enough boards to really get full value out of cards like the Dragon's Fury, Flame Strike, Blizzard every single time. So it feels like a lot of those cards will just be used for the sake of using them.
Yeah. Do they even play the 1-2 out early? Probably not, but that would be over aggressive. But they do have to be aggressive here on the mage.
Yeah.
More than you normally do with this mage.
Well, if your prediction on matchup is true, it also validates your other prediction earlier today. It'll be 4-2 for Mandarins. Mandarin trying to set themselves up for those Aces Zen pads that we've mentioned a couple of times.
Yeah, them Zen pads. But second base is nothing to be unhappy about. They've got all this way anyway, and you get it's £60 each worth of battle net points. With the expansion just coming out, I'd be pretty happy with that myself.
I mean, I heard your pools didn't go so well.
My pools went terribly. I got 2 legendaries out of 61 pack. Wait, is that? Yeah, I basically got my legendary on almost my 40th pack.
Oh god, so you got the full pity timer.
Yeah.
Oh, it feels bad.
So
you could have really been using those £60 worth of battle net points.
But one of these two teams do. But the other team gets them Aces Zen pads. And
hey, you got something else to play Hearthstone on.
Mate, I'd play Hearthstone on the go.
Exactly.
You get a 4G dongle.
And what's
literally
great is
anywhere.
you can share your collection between devices.
Yeah. There are so many options of playing Hearthstone with that Zen pad. It's great. Aces have been a great sponsor. I'm happy that they enable us to do this stream and see these excellent matches.
Yeah, and getting the Faceless Manipulator onto the Hatchling here is an interesting one. She seems to go very early on it, I'd say. But there's not really many other targets they say are strictly necessary. That's actually a huge Skulking Dice. Both the Mega Assembly's gone. That's one of the
more importantly,
tempo
the shield
plays.
slams.
Yes. I'm looking like they're both valuable cards. We're both looking differently. The Omega Assembly is so important for keeping a board presence and keeping plays made in that those sort of trades where you've got 2 minions on either side and you want to start making something happen. Shield Slam's so important for removing big minions, but there aren't really any big minions to remove in the main deck.
No.
Only really this
many.
Lich
The
King,
only
then.
big minions are Lich King. I believe that is run.
It's just there. It's right in the hand.
Oh, it is in hand. Oh. See, I was trying to look at the text. But yeah, it's just in hand. Lich King, and Dragon Caller Alana dragons. I don't think there are any bigger minions.
Yeah, I don't think you really want to be shield slamming a Dragon Caller Alana dragon either.
No, but you might be forced into that situation if you were.
Yeah.
But we're not going to have that situation because it is gone. Really pivotal card, Skulking Geist. It's one of my favorite cards. It when it came out, it was the Jade Druid killer.
Yes, that's why I loved it.
What to do?
Now it just shuts down so many decks that otherwise you just lose to.
Yeah, remember Druid as that class that was really annoying and had that really annoying deck that no one liked to play against? Well,
Yeah,
it's been the same since Jade Druid.
Do you remember when Druids was strong? Oh wait, it still is. Next expansion doesn't look like it's got much else, but I can still see Malagos Druid being strong.
Yeah, I still don't see Druid falling off until the rotation, but it's still not going to fall off completely.
So we see here,
Big Bulldozer.
it is a big the bulldozer means a lot. It's body that isn't easily cleared anymore. Like there's even one meteor. We obviously see the other meteor, and it has rush, but we obviously see the other meteor in hand.
Yeah.
This bulldozer is the Lich King killer. That's what I'm gonna dub it as.
Yeah, exactly. So, is this Bolvar 4 Dragon? Wait, no, that's lore.
So we see Frost Lich Drainer being coined out. Frost Lich Drainer being coined out so that they get the value early.
Yeah.
And you get a 3/6 on board that can freeze stuff. Bulldozer. Potentially played early here. I don't think it's needed. But it doesn't get frozen. That's a very important thing. They don't get the value of the freeze. They don't get the value of the lifesteal.
No hunting liches today. I could almost see the value in Dragon Fury, and there's a potential that you pull a Blizzard from it, and you can just hero power. There's a potential
have you
you pull a Flame
seen
Strike.
a Blizzard yet?
I don't think we have seen.
So that's 2 Blizzards, 2 Flame Strikes.
Yeah, so it
And
either kills
2
them.
polymorphs.
Yeah, it either kills him or puts him on 1, and then puts him on 3's the one you don't want.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's really just using Meteor on him, and so that's not optimal either. So it's just a bit of a high roll play if you go for the Dragon's Fury, but it's still an option.
There's always the confirmed kill of Dragon Fury and Ziliaxon.
Yeah.
But what we see is Arcane Artificer into the Meteor.
Yep.
That was the safest play. I don't think they needed to play the safest play there. I think getting the 3-2 on board is more pivotal. But it's safer, easier, less risky. But I think at this point, Oxford just need to take them risks. I don't see them winning this game from the way that they're currently playing.
Yeah, it seems more and more unlikely, but at least getting the Frost Lich Trainer early does give them the ability to at least try and make some trades. It makes it, especially those 3/1/1 minions with rush that can come from the hero power, specifically useless. You really want to avoid playing into that, but all the same, it's just it puts them with the backs against the wall, just trying to play reactively to their opponents consistently. And against an odd warrior, that's really not what you want to do.
No. And we've not seen either brawl being played. Obviously, there hasn't been a board to play against.
Yeah.
But they're both in hand. Dragoncaller Alana is almost useless at this point. So I don't know what we're going to see them do. They haven't got the value off of this Stonehill, and a second Lich King would have been great.
Yeah, Gloomita does seem like the best option left.
Yeah, I like the Trog. I like having Treperia being played on board. But it just isn't looking good for Oxford. Mandarin look like they're on track to win the series. It's the outcome we do expect because they've just played so well throughout this tournament.
Yeah, so consistently as well. There could be an argument for just silencing the 1/5 here with an Iron Beak. There aren't really that many silence targets. Like Ziliax is one of them. Maybe the Lich King. So there's a potential just to use that to stop you from having to use anything like a brawl, or you don't have the shield slams.
Yeah, but I think they may as well hold on to it in case
This would be a good time for
the second Stonehill. I think they still have one, and get something more worthwhile.
Yeah.
Because what are they actually achieving from silencing this Trog?
Keeping
you lose your 7/7, but oh well, it's not the end of the world for you because you're not gonna win the game from your pressure on board. You're gonna win the game from stopping them.
Well, they have the rush anyway to be able to clear it off, but it was 1 damage from the optimal high roll there.
Yeah, that would have been insane. It could have gone horribly, though.
Ziliax into hero power here is really nice.
Yeah, it is. It's a way of developing a 3/6 on board. It means that they get that freeze the turn after. Freezing the Dr. Boom here the warrior on Mandarin's side. It's great because it stops the super glider from getting another hit.
Yep.
But even then, as it's unfortunate. I still haven't seen a way that this mage wins it. It's just such a favorable matchup for this warrior, as long as they play the way that they've currently been playing and just holding on to the removal.
Is the only thing I'm not seeing right now is, yeah, I'm not really particularly seeing a way that the mage wins, but I'm not seeing a particular way that the warrior wins right now either, and they're not winning on fatigue either. You see how much armor the mage has. They're doing pretty decent.
Not currently, but they do have the Daihorn, they do have the Elite, so as long as they don't shield block, they'll be ahead on fatigue.
Yeah.
Getting rid of them Omega Assemblies does mean that they don't have them options later on. Okay. What? What? Why would you do that?
Why would you set yourself up so well for a hero power and then ruin it?
I just think that, yeah, that was a complete misplay from Oxford. I don't know.
I'm not sure either.
It's probably just they've looked at this, and we saw earlier that they might have been a little bit tilted, let's say.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just coming back to fruition now that they've realized it's quite.
You know, you talked about it earlier. Morale and mental, like, really very important things in this game. And although drawing that death coil has to help them morale a little bit from the Lich King, that's not a bad pull.
Yeah, it's good for when they get into fatigue if they do.
Yeah, it's not bad for clearing a minion either.
Or clearing a minion, you're correct. They've dealt with the Lich King getting more value in terms of cards, but they didn't manage to kill it. I see merit here for playing the Voodoo Doll and onto the Ziliax, getting that 8 damage to face, because at this point they just need to get damage. It means that if they do get to fatigue, they've done some more damage, so it's better for them. But it also, if it doesn't get to fatigue, I mean, if it doesn't get to fatigue, the mage has won, or they've conceded. So it's actually not looking as bad for the mage, but I do think they didn't help themselves with the play they played.
Unity, precision, perfection.
Ziliax in this turn. Why wouldn't you just Ziliax last turn?
As we're saying, it's starting to get a bit questionable here for Oxford, but they're getting desperate. That's why they've tried to go wide on the board. They're trying to commit as much as they can just to do the damage to face, just to try and at least make this one close.
Yeah. Probably just gonna drop Elise here. You don't want to Iron Beak the Elemental. It still maintains the. It just doesn't have the freeze effect anymore. Gonna brawl. Go for that 25%. The amount of brawls today that have been 25% has been. I think most of them have been. I understand it's quite common to play a brawl with 4 minions on board. Ziliax does survive.
Oh, you don't want to play that Raven Familiar. Or at least you don't want to win with it.
Yeah, Raven Familiar here, not a great pickup. Maybe just playing Dragon Caller because you've seen one of the brawls and you look at it and go, do they have another one? If they do, we've probably lost. But if they don't, we might just win. Opting not to, just opting to hero power. Recognizing that fact, recognizing they don't want to just play the Raven Familiar because it thins out their deck, they're playing for fatigue.
Yeah. I mean, both decks have 11 right now upon this draw from the mage.
Yeah.
That's including one of the Dire Horns having been used and the Angora pack. So
I have just seen a lot of value. They just got Face Collector off of their weaponized Pinata, that face collector can just get them loads more legendaries.
Yeah.
Well, 3 maximum, and that can just put them in to win the game.
Depends obviously what you get. You could end up with like, I know I've had a situation in Wild where I get like 3 Sergeant Sallys and I sit there like, well, I've got nothing.
Could happen. I can see
3 patches the pirate.
Mandarin 3 patches would not be great, especially since they don't even get the value of charge anymore.
Yeah.
Mandarin probably want to just dump cards out of their hand to get that value off of that face collector. Is that correct to just dump cards? I don't know.
I think the MC Tech doesn't really have much value in the matchup.
You could play it in tandem with Rule against a Dragon Caller play.
I think that with a Dragon Caller play, you just want to brawl regardless, and
you're going to brawl, but you may as well play the MC Tech first, because then you have more chance of your one winning.
It just feels like gravy at that point. It's not something that's strictly necessary. So yeah, this
is true.
That's the consideration you got to make on it, I think. But all the same, without shield slams at all, there's no real way to clear off those mid-range minions anymore.
No, there's not. I think the second Die Helm was the right play last turn, but maybe they were looking at this being like, what do we play next turn?
Yeah.
And there's not much. You don't want to play. You got 2 dead cards in the shield blocks. You don't want to play the Brawl. Iron Beak Owl could be useful, plus it's less damage on brawls.
This is just a polymorph hero power.
Yeah. This is looking like this one is almost going to be. I think this one's worse than the warrior.
Yeah.
There's a lot. It's gonna. I think it's gonna go the full slot.
Frostlit Jaina is a balanced card.
It's a good card. I like it. But yeah, it's literally just meant that this game's just gonna last forever.
Do you remember when Frostlit Jaina ruined Arena? I do.
Yeah. Arena was just awful. With the Death Knight cards in general, Arena was just not great.
But like with Frostlit Jaina, she was basically just worth like 200 points in Arena. It was
I think it was more than that. I think it was like 250.
Yeah. It's one of the most valuable cards there's ever been in Arena. So it's in these scrappy situations where there's not really much synergy left in the deck, not really many things in the ways of big combos. It's such a valuable card for just surviving the damage, making your enemy play so carefully at all times, because you have to think about, is he just going to hero power down one of my minions? Does he have a trade effectively so you can do that?
Okay, so picking the Ornery Die Helm, probably going to do that to try and get cannot be targeted by spells.
Yep.
I think that might be the best option. Either that or 3 health. We have seen both the meteors. This is a long game. Probably just going to play Gluttonous Ooze here.
Yeah, this is a late Gluttonous Ooze, but a welcome one.
However, the second Super Collider isn't probably too far away. As we can see, it is in hand. So maybe don't play the Gluttonous Ooze. Maybe you just say, if I play it, they're going to probably have a Super Collider anyway. And there's not a whole bunch of situations where that Super Collider actually gets value in terms of trading, because they're playing 1 or 2 minions a turn, if that.
So at this point, it's a heavy value-based game. So Dragon's Fury pulls the Dragon's Fury.
They were only looking to kill the Stone there, I guess. But how else? And then Mortal Coil. Yeah. Death Coil. Mortal Coil's the
Warlock card, yeah. So the thing here is, when you're talking about value, you can look at Dragon Ball or Alana and say it's pretty great value. You can look at quite a few of the cards here that are just really nice value, but you got to think about this on top of it. You've still got the Face Collector to get you 3 legendaries, and the Ungoro pack, which has the high rarity modifier on it, so you're almost guaranteed to get a legendary off of it. There's still so many more high value cards that they can get, even though they have these 2 dead shield blocks in hand.
So, we mentioned that this game is long. It's not super exciting, let's be honest. But do you know who would like this game?
Who?
The mayor of Value Town. The amount of value that we have seen in this game is huge. And the mayor of Value Town, Trump, the Hearthstone player, not the other guy, just would love this. He's like, just look at all the value. Look at all the possibilities. And if we think like that, let's think like Trump here.
So discover's better than draw. Yeah.
We're loving this.
I've got to get in that mindset. Discover's better than draw in all occasions. Every good card is 1 star.
He's sometimes puts them as 2. He's like, I think they're not very good. People have overhyped them, but it's going to see 1% play.
I think it's the draw system. It's the rating system that he does that's very odd, because he goes, if it's played in a high tier deck, regardless of how good the card is, it's 5 star.
4 star. 5 star if it's played in multiple high tier or crucial.
Yeah.
So we've seen the Dragon Caller here. It's played out, but the draw instantly to counter it.
So he knows there's no brawls left.
He knows there's no brawls left. Yeah. What do we see here?
It needed to be done. Ooh, Azalina.
Yeah, we forgot about Azalina. But the value of the cards isn't actually huge. I'm probably just going to trade... Yeah, he's trading everything in and paying a turning over just to clear this 5-5. Gets him 2 armor as well.
Yeah. So he only loses 3 on the play and the card in hand. But really, like, we're seeing so many dead cards. You look at the 2 Raven Familiars, the Acolyte of Pain, both shield blocks, all just dead cards right now. You can't do anything with them.
Yeah. Azalina is a good choice here. You do lose that value from Face Collector. But do you know what else has value that we haven't considered yet? Is this hero power from the Warrior. It can still discover mechs, which later on is going to be great. Will it win the game? I don't know. I now feel like we're going to go to a game 7. I think we're going to go to a decider.
I think there's so much value still left in the deck from the Warrior that they still have opportunities here, and especially...
Wait. I don't think Rin's
oh
that
my
pivotal.
god.
Rin's not that pivotal. The chance of them actually destroying any of the deck is that.
Within 7 cards, yeah.
Hey.
Oh, and there's another new card, right.
One that we're not going to be able to play.
Yeah.
There aren't enough spells.
That's not great. Yeah, I'm trying to think what other spells are they running? So the 2 spells that have costed 10 mana to get it to this point are just both of the roles.
Yeah, so Reckless Flurries.
Double Reckless. Wow, they've not used either Reckless Flurry.
Yeah, they must not have. I think they just Azalina next turn now.
Yeah.
Depending on what they draw, they don't want to get rid of a big card.
Yeah, the only thing they've got are 2 Reckless Flurries and an Angora pack, which could lower the cost down to 7, but that's the best
what are they actually getting from Azalina? Is it better than what they have in hand with the Rin, with the vacuum? No, so they're probably not going to play the Azalina. The Azalina is pretty dead at the moment. The power level of the cards isn't huge from the mage. Power level comes from the hero power, from generating them 3/6s. I like the Doomslayer here. Slows down the game. It means that it's less likely to kill it, but they can just trade into it with everything they've got.
Of course, all of the Ren spells will lower Shivala's cost down to pretty much 0.
You're right. This is oh my god. The value.
High roll. Oh my god. Roll. It's too much value.
Lots of value. So yeah, no, this is so good for the Warrior. He wants that Rin to die. He doesn't want it to get polyed.
Yeah. So that's the perfect time to play it into the Doomsayer.
Yeah. I
think this is too much. I think this is too much to surmount. This looks like a Warrior victory off of the Face Collector now.
Mm-hmm.
the fact that he would have, the lowest he could have gotten it without using both of those shield blocks was to a 7 cost, but because of Rin, he can get it down to 0.
Yeah, and oh my god, you're right. The value from this deck is insane right now. Reckless Flurry here clears the boards. First still get 2-2. It's happening. It's slowly going.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. We're getting towards the game, and it's. Ooh. It's actually been somewhat of an exciting. And now that we're thinking about value, this game has got more exciting.
Yeah. Honestly, just thinking about the Angora pack and the Shivala values. Speaking of the Angora pack, but you can't really play it right now. Yeah.
Probably just playing the next seal.
Yep, and unfortunately you've got.
Okay, just getting the back here. Potentially trying to bait out that polymorph.
You've got too many cards in hand, so you can't play the seal, or you just return another card to your hand and mill one.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons there of why they played the back here. They're just constantly generating threats now. They're constantly playing something on board, which if it wasn't for all these cards they've got, they weren't likely to get to. But because they got that Rin, and because they've still got Stonehill, because they've still got their Nguru, they're just going to keep playing something on board, which eventually, when mages run out of cards, they're just doing 1 damage every turn. This is again back in favor of Manduin. It's their game to lose now. Let's see what the Stonehill gets. I think it's the only thing they can really play.
Apple Bomb isn't awful. It allows you to play it and still hero power if you want it. The Voodoo Doll into hero powers on the Bach is still probably the option.
I think they're scared of what else they can pick up from their cards. So playing that Voodoo Doll now instead of Holly. No, both of them do the same effect. I guess either plays fine. They're both the same. They both do the same thing. And that one's the more expensive one in terms of mana, so may as well play it while you can. But how do Oxford win here now?
It is just trying to get value off of water elementals to heal up while you're in fatigue. That seems to be the main source. If you can avoid giving them free water elementals, then you should win the game off of it.
Yeah. Shivala here, actually, something we haven't considered just yet, is the lifesteal's going to be pivotal later on if they go into fatigue.
Yeah.
Seems they're just looking to get the value. Because if they do end up...
new cards, boys!
Oh, it's good new card, but they're going to play Flame Strike into Icy Touch here on the Shivala. Yeah. I don't like them playing the Shivala this early. I preferred holding on to it and playing like Stone. Yeah, just Flame Strike hero power.
Yeah, it doesn't really net them any healing because they weren't in fatigue at the time either, so it does feel like a waste to use it this early. But
that's the 3rd die horn. We had 2 of them die because of the Faceless Manipulator.
Honestly,
so we've now got 1 left.
Even without Azari the Devourer, it's been very useful for them just to have gotten all of these free minions on board from these spells without having to commit to anything else. So at this point, I'm out of cards. Yeah, being out of cards now, it's I think you have to use the Stonehill this turn.
No, because they can just discover a mech if need be. But yeah, Stonehill might. Stonehill just. You don't want to play Stonehill because it generates them another elemental by trading a water elemental into it and then hero powering it.
So they're just Iron Beak Owling, and the reason they're doing this is because every other card discovers a card and they want to try and empty some cards so they can get an Angora pack and find a win condition.
It's also something that won't freeze their face.
Yes.
Because it no longer has the freeze. And they want to play Super Collider because they can have a really nice trade with Super Collider into one of these minions and also the 5 damage from cards. So we're in fatigue. We're at that stage.
Now the 2/2s actually become relevant.
Yeah, this game's getting to its frosty end. And we're going to see whether the value that has been generated from Korea can win them this game.
Time melts away.
I think it can. But as we're seeing here, there are three water elementals out for the mage. Can this be dealt with? I don't know. I actually like the 6-2 being traded there. Do I? Yeah.
I think you have to. Yeah.
They can either do that or go for Stonehill, but as I mentioned earlier, it does just generate another water elemental.
Yeah, it's just thinking about what you can do with Stonehill. This is really close.
My jungle.
Charlord is good. Big minion. Just bang it down now. Yeah, don't go for the Starnets one. So from now on.
Oh wow, that's actually a big deal because they've got Reckless Flurry in hand, getting the 7 armor.
Yeah, but I don't think they want to use Reckless Flurry though. If they have to, of course they will.
Yeah,
but they're going to try and hold
the
on to
ability
it as long as possible. Yeah, but that 7 armor in fatigue means right.
I must decide.
This is tight.
Yeah, very, very tight. We're either gonna go into a game 7, or Mandarin are gonna win it from this. It all comes down to what's gonna happen in the next few turns. Will Mandarin take the championship, or will we see a game 7? What do you think? What's your gut instinct from what you see?
My gut instinct right now is the mage takes it just off of sheer value of the hero power.
What does your heart say?
My heart says Dr. Boom.
Yeah. Although Dr. Boom is the reason we've had 2 long drawn-out games.
Am I meant to hate him now?
Are you meant? I think, dude.
But it's John DiMaggio, dude. They got a great voice actor. He's bearable.
Okay. So the play here. What is it going to be? Super Collider to clear the Raven? Potentially.
Yeah,
I see merit for just not doing anything. If they did nothing, it would have meant that they could have forced the opponent to potentially play another minion and play their MC Tech. The MC Tech could be great here. I think this is the point where you...
another water elemental.
They do. There's 2 ways of getting it. Either trading into the Tarlord with your own water elementals, and then you'd have to use it on your own one, or the more likely the better option of using it on the Stonehill.
I think you gluttonous use here as well. You know there's no more Super Colliders, so you just throw that down.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You definitely do. So gluttonous use, hero power. That's 5 mana. They have 5 mana left. I think you can afford to just drop the Apple Bomb. That one hill you lose probably won't mean much. Because eventually, it just deals too much damage in fatigue. If it does, then I will kick myself in the foot. But I don't think that one healing will change much.
Time melts away.
So it looks like he's just going to ping off his own.
Okay. Yeah, I can see this. You stop the... you freeze the Tarlords. It has almost the same effect.
Yeah, honestly, I think you just have to Reckless Flurry. You know that he's just going to heal up from any damage he takes from fatigue.
Reckless Flurry, deal your 3 damage to the Water Elemental. What it does mean is that your Tarlord is a...
Yeah.
Yeah, the mage looks
Dynamatic.
like it can
Dynamatic can clear it off.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Why didn't he play Dynamatic and play Kaboom into face?
He should have. That was a
He
misplay.
should have, yeah.
Now what do you want to play? Because
Can play Unguro here. See what you get. You get all 5 cards.
I'm talking the mage. Do you want to just
the
go
mage.
do you want to just go Apple Bomb Raven Familiar?
Apple Bomb Abomination wouldn't be awful either. Apple Bomb is almost the definite play. You don't want to play Acolyte. Dragon's Fury is a dead card. Blizzard could help you later on. So it's either playing Apple Bomb Familiar, as you said, or playing Apple Bomb Abomination. I don't think you play Abomination and Raven Familiar because Abomination will kill that Raven.
Yeah. I think it's Apple Bomb Raven Familiar Hero Power.
There is also the option to just play Abomination on its own, because that means that the 3/4 can trade into it and give you that hero power, but he goes for the Apple Bomb and the Raven Familiar.
Hero Power, his own minion because he wants to set up a water elemental. Okay, I like it.
Yeah, it's clever.
You almost certainly go in Goro
yeah.
Pack, but what does he get? This is the moment that will decide the game right here.
Oh, legendary.
Lyra?
Lyra.
No other spells.
Juld McCaw.
Yeah, probably Juld McCaw. Juld McCaw. Oh, I don't like that.
No, neither do I.
Juld McCaw.
Yeah, Juld McCaw, see what you get.
Good time for a mist.
You could get another Shivala.
You could. Oh my god, there's so many beasts now.
Yeah, yeah.
There are a lot of beasts this that new expansion. I just want to play the Juld McCaw, even though I think it's the right play. I just want to see him play it to see if we get a new card.
That's actually important that you got that hero power. Yeah.
He lost. Okay, the Azalina is whatever at this point. But he lost his 10-10.
Yeah. So
Sucks.
He's gonna gain 7 armor next turn. He's gonna take 5 damage, go down to 7, so he's gonna go back up to 14. His opponent could be on 28 by then. I think you could trade in hero power your own minion here if you wanted.
He can do that, or yeah, he can trade hero power his own minion and play Blizzard. I think that's worthwhile.
Yeah.
Because at this point, you've seen that he's played the Lakari Fellhound. He probably didn't get anything of value. Sorry, Mandarin probably didn't get anything of value from that Unguro pack. Because obviously he's discarded. You don't want to discard value.
Yeah.
So just Blizzard in here stops you from taking 6 damage on a turn. But he holds that till next turn because he has to get through this Abomination, which is incredibly difficult for him. He has to trade at least both of his minions on board. Now we're going to see what he gets from this Juld
McCaw. Stampede Encoder doesn't really provide anything here now.
It doesn't do anything. It's a 3/5 body.
Yeah.
It's literally what it is.
So you can gain the armor, but that looks like that's it.
That's game. I think that's game for the mage. We're going to a game 7, more than likely. I don't see a way other than a mech discover.
Yeah.
No, because yeah, this has got to be game.
So he's going to take 6 next turn. You can do 4.
This is where you trade Blizzard, hero power your own minion.
Yeah.
Because you don't, as Oxford, you don't know if they got a spell from that Unguro pack, so you're going to be scared of that with the Lyra on board.
Yeah.
Not that I think there's anything they can get off of it that's going to win the game.
At what point do you just go like, if we don't die to the next draw, just play shield block and pray we get something good off of Lyra if you did survive the turn? So I think you got to get rid of it, because there's still a potential, even if you just get something like even just something like a healing spell from the priest, just anything that can keep you alive an extra turn, you get rid of that chance. And they are gonna blizzard. They're not gonna. Honestly, I would go for broke and just play a shield block here because you don't die to it. She takes you do die to it. You take 7. That's it.
Well, I mean, you died the next turn anyway.
Yeah, you die the next turn anyway. So.
Yeah, I think that's just.
This kills him. This kills him.
Yep. I mean, I think they know that.
Yeah.
Game 7. We are going 7. Oxford did very well in playing the fatigue game against a deck catered towards fatigue, and yeah, they played really well. They played a lot better than I thought. I still think that the mages are not favored in that matchup. However, they played their cards right. They played to a new win condition of fatigue when they didn't get everything they needed when the brawl was played out. And yeah, they won. And game 7, not what we expected at the beginning of the day.
They adapted the win condition at the right time, and they managed to put themselves in a much better situation to be able to take that game. They played effectively through the hero power, and that's what we talked about, though. That's why it was such a high value in a card in Arena. When you get into these scrappy situations where it's just you're trying to get the maximum amount of value out of your minions possible, having the ability to get all these elementals with lifesteal is just unmatched by almost any other card in the game. It's incredible, and that's what ends up winning them the match and puts them in the situation to take this game 5, game 7 at all.
One thing before we go into this next game: which card has better value, Deathstalker Rexar or Frostlit Jaina? In your opinion?
Really hard to tell, but I'm gonna go with Rexar because it's more flexible.
Yeah, I agree. I think you can just win more games off of it.
Yeah.
I do, however, think Frostlit Jaina just hasn't had complete support with the rest of the deck in the sense of it's not been very good. Because Tempo Mage didn't want to run it when that was good. And the only deck that has ever run it is Big Tempo Mage, and it's only now got to tier 2, tier 3.
Okay, this is really interesting. Instant Omega Assembly on turn 1.
Because of the circuit screams, because of a lot of other reasons, you need to win this game early from Priest.
Yeah.
So they're just trying to get the value from that as early as possible.
So having 3 Dynamatics in hand, that's the kind of way you win a game.
Yeah. The Priest needs to get something on board. Oxford need to get something on board early. They need to get rid of this because their win condition is the Alex and use 3 to 4 Mind Blasts.
Yeah.
Getting the extra ones from Shadow Visions.
Shadow Visions, yeah.
This is incredibly favored by Warrior, but we said the last one was favored to the Warrior as well, and it lost.
Yeah, it's I was saying how favored it was to the Warrior, and then I saw the Frostlit Jaina. I'm like, oh, this might actually be close.
Yeah, they got it very early.
Yeah, the early one was the big thing. Yeah,
it was pivotal, right?
And maybe in this matchup, an early Shadow Reaper Anduin can make the difference with the chip damage to face constantly.
Oof, this is not looking good. They at least get that turn 4 play.
Yeah.
But oh god. So 4-9. I
wonder.
This got to go up against a Diehorn Hatch, and that turn not getting any armor away with it because of the all the shield slams to just get rid of it.
Exactly.
I think you do play the Diehorn. But we'll see.
Yeah.
I like both of the options. Shield slam, hero power. The Diehorn can come useful later.
Next turn, so
yeah.
I know we have caster vision, but this is the correct play around Queen Skulking Geist.
You're right. And it also doesn't develop your board, but you're not playing to develop a board. You're just playing to get rid of their board.
Yeah.
Because you're going to win in fatigue. Because the only big removal that is on Priest is the Circuit Scream, and Circuit Scream, you don't want to play Circuit Scream into a fatigue game.
Yeah, because in this warrior deck, you essentially start with a 20 health advantage over your opponent.
Yeah.
I wonder.
In Warlock, it's more like 30, but
Yeah.
that's a different story.
It's just Searcher feels bad for this Priest. It's not a matchup. I don't think this Priest could have beaten any deck. It's why it wasn't banned. For many reasons why it wasn't banned.
So you can see like the Malagos Druid was banned.
But what is it going to win against? It's Shadow Walk? No.
Yeah.
The combo of Shadow Walk's just so much more consistent. You can get it so much earlier.
Quickly.
Against even Warlock, probably not. Even Warlock will kill you before you get your combo. Actually, it's not too bad against even Warlock. I think they should have just tried to win the Priest earlier on. I think they completely misplayed by not playing the Priest early. Because you just need to get that one a win. And the only deck it has a chance against, in my opinion, is that even Warlock.
Yeah, when the even Warlock puts themselves so low, there's a chance you can get your combo off.
Yeah.
When they're on like 20 HP, you can get it.
So we will see if they can get into this. It's going to be tough. It's going to be difficult. They've got to play probably perfectly from this point and just hope that Mandarin don't have the cards or don't play perfectly.
Last time I saw a Priest deck in the NUEL tournament was it was Cold Hands being beaten by a meme Divine Priest. A Divine Spirit Priest, where it actually knocked them out of the second seed spot.
Yeah, is it a meme though? In the NUEL, is anything a meme? Because like, I mean, anything can win. Because
it was pretty memey.
Okay.
that whole series is pretty memey.
Yeah.
They're deliberating whether they want to go Scale 1 or Twilight Acolyte, but instead they're just Hero Power and he missed the classic Priest thing, which is obviously Hero Power and Emote.
Ah, yes.
That's obviously a lack of APM, but there's not much you can really do about that.
No, clearly not StarCraft players.
No.
This just the Priest hasn't managed to deal with any of the armor. They've not managed to develop anything on boards. How is this? How are they going to win this? Can you see any way that they win this right now?
Honestly, no.
No.
Honestly, there's so little way for them to actually win this. I'm gonna check through their deck list quickly.
I think that just in terms of violence and draw, Mandarin just one off of that. In terms of they have the better ones. Yep. Mandarin have played slightly better, but I have been impressed with Oxford's play, especially in the last game and the game before that.
Yeah.
So.
Light the fuses!
Mandarin has kind of made more mistakes as the series got on. It's a long series, maybe getting sloppy throughout.
They have. And credit to Oxford for just getting here. They weren't favourites by any means to get here to the finals. They were
6th seed.
6th seed. Arguably, another couple of teams could have been there above them in the playoffs.
Yep, they knocked out the 2nd seed, which was Nax out from the University of Birmingham last week to make semis, to make finals in the first place. So they've clearly had some success with these decks they brought against opposition who's been bringing very similar decks to the decks that Mandarin's been bringing. So,
however, Mandarin have just been playing better.
Yeah,
they're actually. So we will just give credit to Mandarin. We're giving credit to Oxford. They're both very good teams in terms of University Hearthstone. Even out of University Hearthstone, they've shown that they can play well. And let's see here. Let's see how this game goes. Let's see if Oxford can impress us again.
There's always a chance that they can make something happen, but it just seems to be becoming less and less likely as the game goes on. We see them hitting 50 health now. They're passing that threshold where it seems near insurmountable. Especially when their board just looks fairly intimidating as well.
Yeah, are we just gonna see Warrior just win from board?
See,
that would be interesting.
This is crucial though, because I think that this is the only way they can win the game. Shadow Reaper Anduin.
Yeah.
They have to be landing 2 or more hero powers almost every turn to value it out.
The light has betrayed me.
But all the same, it's the only way they can win. They have to just constantly chip away and hope they can find it. Because they can set the opponent to 15 through Alistraza. That will set the warrior down to... Oh, don't worry, it'll only set them down to 35.
Oh no. 35?
Yeah.
Oh. Well.
What
We're gonna have
now?
this game can go the mile. Again. That's 3 games in a row. Have been quite slow. Everyone was shouting about aggro being too powerful, but this series just shows what you get when aggro is too powerful. You get these slow, drawn-out games that just come to these fatigue situations, control situations.
The sad thing is when we talk about that, without any irony, it's ended up being that Oxford brought decks to counter aggro. Like they brought so many decks to counter aggro. They weren't prepared for the control game. They were prepared for odd rogue. They were prepared for odd power, and they end up in the situation where how do they deal with somebody who just gets 60 armor? And we've seen today that they can't. Like they've really struggled to deal with the warrior, and the mage deck was able to find something, but it's just too far into anti-aggro.
Yeah, perhaps it's a sense of they haven't had tournament experience in the past.
Now?
Yeah.
They haven't necessarily recognized the differences between gameplay on ladder and gameplay in tournaments. They've been playing very well to get to this stage, but a lot of that could just come down to them playing well opposed to them bringing the right lineup. And I don't think they've brought the right lineup from the fact that most of it counters aggro. Or at least plays well into it.
Yeah, it's as if they preempted that they'd be playing into aggro in the tournament, and unfortunately we've seen that there are no aggro decks here from...
No, the only aggro decks that you see in tournaments, 2 and obviously only one of them can be brought. Or, like, there are...
Rogue is another one, to be fair.
Oh, and you don't see... In tournaments, you more often see Quest Rogue.
Yeah, it's not an impossibility to see Odd Rogue.
No, it's not.
Yeah. But it's something you shouldn't particularly play into seeing often.
No, you really shouldn't. So we're going to see here probably the 4-8 trading into the 3-4.
Darkness speaks.
Honestly, it just feels like we're waiting inevitability.
Yeah, or they're just going to try and get the value from the hero power into the big Diehorn Matriarch opposed to the Diehorn Hatchling. Almost at 60 health. This is just sad. It's just going to be the warrior getting up probably to 90 health. Well, effective health, and there's just nothing the priest can do. There's no Lyra, which is something we mentioned. Like, Lyra's another win condition of you can just get an amazing combo off, randomly get all these different cards, but they don't run Lyra.
It seems like a real, like we talked about this a little bit earlier, it seems like a deck that could really benefit from Lyra, and there's no Lyra anywhere in sight. There's in terms of low cost cards, there's like double power word shield, that's about it in terms of the lower cost spells. There's double Norshire cleric, but that's really it in terms of that. There's not enough to set it up.
Do we just see Dr. Boom being played here? Are there enough armor where they don't care about the hero power anymore?
I think maybe they can make that decision, but all the same, it's like, at what point is it necessary, and at what point is it just, you can keep building up armor to the point where it's insurmountable anyway.
Yeah, I think it's very similar to the situation where it was old mid-range hunter up against quest warrior. I'm talking Ungure era, where as a warrior you didn't want to change your hero power because you just want to keep armoring up, and that's exactly what's going to be the case there. You just want to keep that consistent armoring.
Yeah.
And here we go. Wonderful super collider here. Either one it hits, it's gonna get rid of the Ziliax, and then just armor up, and yeah, and just shut down that out.
There's
really
no real
nice
silence
here.
threats in this deck at all. Like especially with Ziliax gone, like the only other real silence targets are things like Norshires, and you don't particularly care because they're just getting themselves closer to fatigue, and that's your win condition.
Yeah, because they don't care about taunts. They just care about damage, and they may as well just get rid of that 4 damage that could have been traded into either a taunt or their face.
And as seemingly we await inevitability, it's been great to see again that even though there have been some plays that have been very high roll centric and low roll centric, it has come down to the consistent play and just playing better than their opponents on almost every occasion that has put Mandarin in this situation where they're looking to win the final game of the finals. It has been well fought. I did not expect it to come back to the 7th game.
Shadows grow short.
So I will give Oxford full credit of getting it back to here.
Thoughts.
But all the same, it's just seeming more and more hopeless.
Well, they just, in theory, dealt 15 damage. Not that it matters too much. The faceless manipulator here, nice draw. Can literally play it on that 8/8, get an 8/8 for yourself. Ziliax can also be played to trade into that Primordial Drake. It's just looking amazing here for Mandarin, and they're more than likely going to be NUEL champions here for the winter season. And oh, that's right, that's a lot better play. Regardless, they won. More than likely from this. Lots of healing from the Ziliaxes, all that.
This is
came
Ziliax
from
Eye.
Ziliax Eye. I'm so sorry. All of this, all that Alexarza pressure just got lost from Dick's heal. If I was Oxford here, you've lost your win condition now. Your only win condition. Do you just surrender?
You surrender to madness? No, that's new card. Honestly, you hope for the pity concede from your opponents.
But who doesn't want the Ace of ThinkPads? Mandarin here are just gonna play to win. They're not gonna, unfortunately, give that pity concede.
They want those. They want those tablets exactly.
Yeah.
So
neither team can be upset if they came seconds. Oxford aren't going to go away from this and go, oh no, we didn't win. It's the worst thing in the world. We're going to go home with £60 of Battle.net.
60 packs or a World of Warcraft subscription, depends what they feel like.
With 60, I think you can get a lot more than 60 packs, I think.
It's probably gonna be 70 packs.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna be 70, yeah. I mean, you could buy Destiny. Oh wait, it's free.
Is it? I don't think
it was free.
It was free, yeah.
It was free for a short duration. I got it for free. I kept it for free.
So did I.
Yep.
Right, this Shadow Reaper. What it can get? What? 6 damage a turn on that Void Form, if that. From the hero power.
It's lucky to get more than that.
They're losing in fatigue. They're just losing in every matter possible. Like playing the Acolyte just means you're definitely gonna lose in fatigue. Like, is there a way they can win? No, I don't think there is. Unless, yeah, the pity concede or just a complete misplay where they don't play anything anymore.
Yeah, if they play nothing for the rest of the game, there is an opportunity to come back.
Yeah, and again, they're not playing Dr. Boom because they just want to keep armoring up for a turn, opposed to, as you said, about 2.5 a turn. It's just inevitable at this point. We're just waiting. Oxford don't want to concede because they don't want that. There might be something that we're not thinking about, something that they're not thinking about, of like some way to win this game. They're just going to play it out, see if they can eventually just win this game.
So I'm going to take this opportunity to click around the new board a little bit.
Oh, this is the new board. You're correct.
Okay.
I don't know if everyone gets the same boards when you're spectating.
As far as I've been aware, they do.
Yeah. We'll find out from the producer in a second.
That's
I have some Hawaiian
thing.
So that answers our question. Yes, you do. There is a combo, I believe,
yes,
on the drums in the bottom left.
Drum, hammer, drum, horn.
Hey.
If only they could see that on the stream, but our spectator doesn't allow us to share our perspectives. You are seeing our wonderful producer Mark's perspective.
I think let's hope that he's trying to also get the combo. I will type it in if he needs.
You have to click on the bottom left of the screen. Drum, hammer, drum, and then there's a horn, like a dismembered horn next to it in the bottom left.
Shadowy thoughts.
Yeah, next to that shield looking thing, the horn. You got it. Wonderful.
Awesome.
You can change the hairstyle of the skull of the troll if you click it a few times. Okay, Oxford here taking ages on their turns. There's not much they can do.
I think that honestly just taking as much time as they can to discuss, is there any way we can win this?
Yeah.
Can anybody think of any way, like scouring their deck list, looking through it 3 or 4 times, trying to think, is there any possible way? And unfortunately, I don't think there is.
They're just going for face damage at this point. Yeah. It's the only way they can win is to just keep chipping away at that armor.
But they needed to do this. Like, they needed to have a winning board so they could start doing this 6 turns ago.
But the deck just doesn't play towards that they have. And it's definitely was the weakest of their decks. And we're seeing why it's the weakest of the decks that they have brought. And Mandarin here just slowly but surely have won this game by just building up that armor. It's literally just been a tap game.
Yeah.
Some would say this is revenge for the past 3 games, and this has been tap revenge.
Silencing your minion to give it 4 more attack.
I enjoy doing that a lot when, like, let's say a giant has been frozen or something, so you just silence it.
Freeze it. This is silenced.
I think Mandarin here just recognizing they've pretty much won it at this point, may as well just develop a board and keep chucking stuff at face.
So the health advantage has shrunk from being at 50 health to only being at 34.
Shadowy thoughts.
So there has been a lot of damage dealt. But all
they can also clear the board here just with a... Oh no, they can't. Dustbreaker doesn't have an activator anymore. Did they just chip away at face again? Probably.
Yeah, it's probably like... Are there many master spell targets left in this deck? Because at this point, like, you almost stop caring about fatigue because you think we're probably going to lose in fatigue anyway, so you just draw the cards and spam.
Yeah.
The shadows grow short.
You just see how much damage you can get out before you die.
Yeah, it's looking dire here.
No, that's a dire horn.
Ah, dire horn. You're right. But it's just not looking like there's any chance of Oxford coming through. Mandarin, as we said, gonna get them tablets. They're gonna be able to play Hearthstone all the time. They're gonna be able to potentially next season win this tournament from them tablets.
And they've got that cool NUEL skin on them as well.
Ah, they do. I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not just a ThinkPad tablet. It's an exclusive ThinkPad tablet, which you get to skin it on with the NUEL.
Speaking of being skinned, I think that's how Oxford feel this game.
I think they're just going to hero power here, play Dr. Boom, play Antonio. Oh, no, not quite what I thought. Just going to hero power, probably just going to Antonio Rover and do nothing. Yeah. Save that Dr. Boom for that 7 armor later on. If you need that burst of armor for whatever reason. But at the moment, they're just quite content with just tanking up.
I don't think there's anything else really they need to do.
No. There's no way of a board being developed by Oxford, so they're never going to feel pressured to play them reckless flurries. And it's just getting to the point where they're just going to win. That Wild Paramounts is just going to build up armor for them with Eternum Rover.
Hey, Azalina!
I don't think they shouldn't play this here, but it would be a good meme.
It would be, but
they shouldn't play it.
The Divine Hymn, though, the healing.
But they don't know that's in. I guess they do at this point. They're gonna have him. But there's no point in doing any of this anymore.
Yeah.
they're
gonna do it. They're gonna do it.
The madmen.
Absolute madmen.
The disrespect. Yeah, I mean they're not gonna lose anymore, but
honestly though, getting 12 health worth of healing,
it's a lot.
It secures any resembling chance of them losing.
Plus, any minions they draw, that 6 health is gonna be useful on them as well.
Shadowy
It is good. I do think it was just still safer to just not play it at that point, but oh well.
Yeah, they lose the Dr. Boom.
They're in such a
biggest
good
thing there for
situation.
them.
Yeah.
And that was just the fact that you just get 7 armor off of that one card. You could go and get 11 armor in one turn.
But hey ho, they can still armor up for a turn.
Yep.
Well, they were seemingly not planning on upgrading the hero power anyway. I believe Shadow Visions might be a dead card now. I don't think there's any other spell that we haven't seen. I might be wrong with that.
There's very few, and I'm not sure if the other Mind Blast we saw was one that was created.
There's a Power Word Shield, I think.
Yeah.
The Northshire. And what else is there? One more.
I think we haven't seen either Power Word Shield, am I wrong?
You might be correct. We might have seen one. I don't know.
Oh wow. Yeah, because their opponent's drawing ahead, I guess you can afford to gain armor and then play
just play the Elise. Yeah, this is
you
definitely
go one
a win
for
now.
one on it.
Like,
yeah.
I know we've been saying this is a win for ages. With that Elise, with that extra bit of armor, that's just game.
Yeah.
They're on 41 health. There's only 1 Mind Blast left. I'm sorry, 2 Mind Blasts left.
Yeah, so it means
that
the
was
other
the
Mind Blast, the other Mind Blast that was created.
But now they can't get another one with Shadow Visions. Can they win at this point? No. They can just concede now. I think you can say with certainty that they've lost.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, between 3 Mind Blasts, that would have been 21 points of damage if you include the hero power resets in there.
Yeah.
And so that would have at least evened out the health pool slightly. But it was too little too late. You could see how it would win against most decks that don't increase their health above 30.
Yeah.
Especially at this phase, yeah.
Which is why they banned the Druid, I guess, that was one of many reasons.
Yeah.
Because it is only the Druid and the Warrior that build up the armor. And I think they just kind of potentially accepted the fact that they were going to lose against this Warrior in this matchup, which is why they might have tried to avoid it. But because Mandarin won the first 3, it was only the Warrior left, so this matchup was inevitable.
Yeah.
So there are so many reasons why Mandarin have just played the series very well, playing the right decks at the right time, and yeah, it's a shame that Oxford will be losing at this point. Someone does have to win. We would say either way that is. Someone does have to win. Mandarin look like that team. They've played the most consistent throughout this tournament. They are very much deserving winners.
Yeah, it's one team wins and one team loses, but all the same, it doesn't mean that Oxford played particularly poorly on the day. It doesn't mean that Mandarin just outclassed them in every way. This is a 7-game series. This could have gone either way, but this matchup in particular, bringing the priest deck, the decks that have been brought by by Oxford, including this priest, have been the issue for them and have been one of the consistent things tripping up. And you just think, if they brought the decks that they were playing in week 6, if they brought the Death Rattle Hunter, if they brought the Token Druid, would they have had a better chance in these finals? And I have to say, 100% yes. Would they have made it to the finals? That's the question. That's maybe less likely.
Yeah, they just haven't found success on this deck. The Mage was a problem earlier on as well. Mage they did very well to win up against the Warrior. But if they brought something other than the Mage and the Priest, such as the decks that you mentioned,
Out of cards.
this could have been a completely different series.
Ooh, Cabal Shadow Priest, steal that card.
Dino Size, what a card.
Let me change your mind.
They don't want to target Scream here. Their enemy's in fatigue. They probably don't feel threatened. They played an Elemental last turn with so they've just got two taunts on the field. What they can trade into one of the taunts with their 1/1.
Yeah, they get the right one. They get the zap on the target that would have killed it. But
yeah, I mean, we're analyzing this when there's not much to be analyzed. It's pretty much lost at this point.
At this point, you just might as well play the Twilight Drake because it's only going to decrease in health as you play more cards. So there's no reason not to play it.
Yep, gonna kill this Stone Sentinel as well.
There's still 8 damage on board, 10 in hand. Decent shit, but
there's just so much more going on for Mandarin. Getting that taunt, probably can play Master Spell next cards. Getting the Diehorn Hatchling, really important for the fatigue. It means that they're going to play that instead and just armor up. Yeah, this is game. It's been inevitable for a while.
But I mean, credit to at least the mentality of Oxford. They never gave it up.
No, keep playing it. There's always a chance of the team just not being able to win because they've done a complete misplay. That Azalina, that could have been the turning point of the game. Obviously, we kind of thought that's quite unlikely. Forgot about the draws as well. both
of them were in the bottom of the deck. Yeah.
Oh.
So this will put them down to 40, 38, and
now that's what they're
33, 31, 26. So they broke the armor. They finally broke through.
It's great when we've got to the point where we just keep counting the damage.
Yeah.
Hey, let's get that divine shield from these guys. Wind Fury, why not? Nothing matters at this point.
It really does.
As soon as that Twilight Drake's dead, that's game. But they're still playing.
I can't exactly tell you why, but yes, they are indeed still playing.
That's game. Done and dusted. They've lost. Mandarin come out with the series victory. They've won the NUEL Winter Championship. They go home with the
nothing.
not ThinkPads, Zen pads. They go home with the Zen pads. They've won.
Yeah, Mandarin, they came in off of the split where they performed so well. They came out with the 12 wins, more than anyone else by a whole 3 different games, and with a fairly high opponent's win percentage. They were really consistent throughout. They rarely struggled. They consistently found these plays that got them back into games that were behind. They consistently closed out these series, even when they get forced to the 7th game, even when they get forced to the 5th game during the split. So congratulations to them. It was well earned and well piloted by Janemi throughout.
Yeah, incredibly well played from them. Going 3-0 up in the series. Credit to Oxford taking it back to 3-3, getting to the 7th game. But it was just inevitable with the way that the matchups went, with the way that everything was played. Mandarin tutored it very well to get the matchups that they wanted at points that they wanted. They played the competitive level of Hearthstone in terms of esports better than Oxford did, and that was the difference. They brought the better lineup. They played the better matchups when they wanted. They did that side of Hearthstone better, and Mandarin came out with the victory. Oxford going home. 2nd place, nothing to be sad about. 2nd place when they weren't even expected to be top 8. And they've come all the way to 2nd. They're going home with £60 each in BattleNet points. Oh, no, it's not points in BattleNet, it's just BattleNet currency.
Just BattleNet currency, yeah.
Nothing to be sad about. They've done incredibly well. Mandarin came up with the victory in the end, and very well done to them. It's been a great season as a whole. First season back for Hearthstone in a couple of years. We've had the meta's been great in the sense of lots of deck variancy. We've seen a lot of different people bringing different cards, It's been a lot.
It's been a lot of fun to see how it shook out as the weeks went on, how we've gotten to this point, and how as we got into playoffs, everybody seemed to have this idea of what was going on and what decks they should be bringing. And yet Oxford, they come in with this completely different set to everyone else. I believe every single deck they were running, other than Malagos Druid, no one else in the top 8 was running. So full credit to them for making it all the way to finals, even with a disadvantageous, you have to say, deck list. But
yeah, they did incredibly well.
It ends up costing them in the finals, and they go out in that 7th game. But yeah, thank you for joining us for the season. It's been wonderful. I know I enjoyed myself today, even though we did end up having that warrior mirror that we tried to avoid for so long.
I don't think that was the worst one. The worst game for me was that last one, because we just knew the outcome from so early on. Yeah,
the last 3 were all incredibly slow. The mage one was at least interesting because we didn't know where it was going to go until the final couple turns. But that last one was very grindy, very much just stalling it out. But yeah, that's it for the season. We'll be back hopefully in spring with more Hearthstone action and potentially another expansion.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for watching. Please do go check out the NUEL's website and on the blog, gets you all the updates. Make sure you're part of the Facebook groups. Make sure you're part of the Discords. Keep up and dated. You can come play Hearthstone. You can play all the other games that the NUEL provides for tournaments, and just have a great time playing at university. It's been a pleasure casting you, Sin. I think we've built up a great relationship as casters. It's been wonderful. I've really enjoyed it. And we've got our man behind the scenes doing the production. He's been really good this season. Thank you very much.
Big brain boy Mark.
Big brain boy Mark. Thank you very much. See you next time, everyone.